good, good evening, folks. Man, what an interesting saga we had here going on for the first 15 minutes of what should have been a show, but that's okay. Then I got Smokey the Bear over here beside me. But anyway, good evening, cryptids. Hey, we started with Brother Blalack here. I call him Brother Blalack all the time, and he kind of lost service, we'll say, and he's got plenty more to talk about. So we're giving him the floor tonight. I'm just going to step out of the way, and it's all about David Blalack and Smokey the Bear over there, and Jeff's a new man tonight. We won't get into that. I'll let him say it if he wants to say it, whatever. But we appreciate everybody tuning in, and I'm sure more will be coming in shortly. So what's that?
It's just official, finally.
Yeah, he's official. He's officially a single man, so to speak. He's not married anymore.
Well, not technically.
Well, you're not single, but you know. So.
But as far as the law's concerned,
by all means, we got some people coming in. Chat's already been in chat already. Probably got tired of waiting on us, but that's okay. We got River Morrison here, and I believe there's a couple others in here too. They're on further back up. I was talking to them earlier, and David had a couple issues getting lined up and on here, so we're set to go now. So let's do this thing, man. David, I know before you started having a lot of service last week, you got into your alien UFO / whatever craziness that's going on there. We're just going to step aside and let you take over from there, and we're all ears, man. If anybody's got questions, by all means, please put them in caps or whatever. I'll keep an eye on the chat. And like, subscribe, share so this channel grows, man. And also get over to YouTube. Get over to Facebook to the new Old Line Cryptids Facebook page and give it a like so we can get that linked up to YouTube here. So go ahead, David. I won't stand in your way. Have at it.
All right. Hi, everybody. I can't see chat, so I can't see any comments, but I'm glad you guys are here, and I swear there's been some forces trying to keep us from finishing the story, but here we are. So I'll just kind of go through the first half of the story that I left off last week, kind of quick, just to kind of get caught up. And so this would have been around 1980 to 1982-ish, probably. We'd moved to this property. We bought the property. It was a single wide mobile home. And there were 6 of us kids, but the 2 older kids were out of that house at the time. So there was the 4 of us. There was me, my younger brother, and my 2 older sisters. And me and my brother slept in the living room on a hide-a-bed couch. And my 2 sisters slept in one of the bedrooms in the hallway, and then my mom and dad slept in the bedroom at the end of the hallway. And so I'd woke up feeling like I had been, basically like there had been a hand around my throat, like I was being choked. And so I woke up kind of panicky, and I could breathe, but it just felt like my throat had pressure on it, like I'd been choked. And so I went up the hallway to my mom and dad's room, and my mom was always the type of person where any of us kids ever had a nightmare or were scared or sick or whatever it was, hurt, she would let us slip into bed with her. I don't care how old we were. I mean, up to an age, like 10, 12 years old, that was okay. And so I had went back to my mom and dad's bedroom and crawled into bed with my mom and dad. My dad was on the far side, my mom was in the middle, and I was on the outside on the other side. And I'd been laying there, I don't know, I mean, going back to my little young person mind, it seemed like I'd been laying there maybe an hour, maybe not quite that long. And I don't know what time it was. It's probably, if I had to guess, it was probably midnight-ish, maybe later in the morning. And I was laying on my back, and I just remember laying there with my eyes closed, and I kept like my hand on my throat, and I could breathe, but it just felt like pressure on my neck. And so I was laying there trying to get myself to go to sleep and kind of still thinking about it. And then through my eyelids, I started seeing like this flickering of light. It's kind of like sitting in front of a campfire while it's dark. and you're seeing, even through with your eyes closed, you can still kind of see the flicker of light. And so I'm laying there, and it dawned on me that I'm seeing this. And before I even opened my eyes, I was thinking to myself, am I really seeing this? Are you seeing this light? So I kind of concentrated, and I could see like the light kind of moving side to side, and I can tell it was getting closer to me. It was getting brighter through the walls. The door was closed. I was in my mom and dad's bedroom, and I'm laying there, and about the time I realized that I'm actually seeing this light, I opened my eyes, and right up towards the top of my mom and dad's bedroom wall, where the door and the ceiling and the wall all came together right there, this red ball. It was smaller than a basketball, a little bigger than like a 1 gallon tub of ice cream, like that lid size, a little bigger than that. Just a red ball just like came right through that corner of the ceiling and where the wall and the ceiling met. And if it was a ball, then it came through like halfway, because it was like half of a ball sticking through the wall right there. And it made the whole room light up with like this red glow. It wasn't like super bright red. It was like a deep, dark red, kind of like lava colored, that red, deep, dark look. And I'm just looking at it with my eyes had to be big, but I was just looking at it come through the wall. It didn't make a sound. It just was like, and it just stopped like halfway through the wall. And so I sit up, and the whole room's lit up enough where I could see my mom and my dad laying in the bed. I can see everything in the room. And around that ball, for like 3 feet around that circumference, it was purple, like a see-through, but beautiful purple. It looked like a fireworks, just beautiful. And out of the red, out of the edge of the red, these white big sparks were shooting off, and they would go out when they came to the edge of that purple. They didn't go through the purple. They didn't go outside that purple. They stayed within that purple aura around that red ball. And for my whole life, I always called it, like the red light that came into my mom and dad's room. And I always explained it like it looked like lava, like the inside of the red ball was just kind of like turning. And when I explained it to my son, he was like, "You mean like plasma?" And I was like, "Yeah, like plasma. It looked like molten. I don't know how to explain it, like molten metal or lava, but like plasma, like a plasma cutter, or I don't know even how to explain it, but it was just the red ball. You could see like this energy turning within it, purple or around it, and these big, huge, we're talking like 1 inch diameter, white, like a sparkler, sparkles just out of that the edge of that red ball, and they would go out in that purple aura. So I'm sitting there, and I'm looking at it first, and I turn and I put my left hand on my mom's hip, and she's laying on her side facing away from me. Her side profile just perfect. I see my dad, he's laying on his back off, and both hand on my mom's hip, my left, and I'm look at red light pointing at the ceiling at that red light. And it was
Uh-oh.
side profile. It's but it's and head up and sit back, and I'm looking at her side. I can tell if moving, and wasn't her voice, son.
Now, David, we're starting to lose you. It's getting broke up.
So
If you can hear me. Uh-oh.
it's right there.
I don't think he can hear us.
We've got a storm popping up here too.
Yeah, we got a storm popping up here. I don't know
The-
if anybody else is having trouble hearing David. Signal's breaking up.
And now he's pros. No, there he is.
There he is. Can you hear us okay, David? I'm sorry.
What in the hell?
The only other suggestion I could say is maybe shutting the camera
Really?
off and just using the audio. Yeah, we can't. We can't. It's all broke up.
That's
It was fine, and now it's
last time
just-
it broke up.
That's something. Yeah, he's having
Hey,
trouble.
come on, it's a special day. Things are supposed to be working properly.
Yeah, right. Well, we're getting more rain. Sounds like I can hear the booming and banging going on outside.
Yeah, I got the window open right here, and it's the wind's
No.
just blowing through the curtain.
Yeah, David, I think your signal's done. You might have to go back out and come back in if you can hear us. It was doing really good there in the beginning.
Yeah,
Maybe
internet-
try. Yeah, it could be the signal between there and here with these storms coming in. I don't know if anybody else is having trouble hearing him.
I didn't look to see if anyone's. Let me look back again.
Just hang tight. We'll give him a chance to get back in here.
I think a lot of people are probably having internet troubles with the storms and stuff.
Yeah, I'm sure. There's plenty of storms around.
Oh, there's Mark.
Yeah, Mark's in here. Yeah. Yep. Sorry, folks. Just hang tight. We really want to give David a chance to get his story out there. No. The internet is not cooperating. There's Mr. House is in the house. How's Greg House tonight, buddy?
There he is.
Oh.
If this is gonna rain, I should probably run out to the truck and close the windows.
That might be a good idea. It's a pretty big storm coming in, so I think we're going to get a good bit of rain out of it. I mean,
I'll
it's
be right
it's
back.
only a few minutes away. Yeah. Yep. So anyway, wow, that just leaves me. That's okay. It happens. We got bad weather in the area, and David's having some problems. So my phone keeps going off. Hi, Abby. Okay. He's back. Not sure how it's going to work, but he's back. It's not working. You hear me okay, David?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. It's really delayed. Maybe try turning your camera off and just talk. Try it that way. Without that, it'll help the signal from your end to here with your camera off. You can do it right down the bottom of the screen there, below the chat window, not the chat with the actual show window. Just click the camera and shut it off. Stop cam, actually, it should say. Bigfoot just walked in.
I didn't move fast enough. I got wet, Jerry.
Oh, it's pouring already over there, huh? Well, it'll be here shortly then. A couple miles away. Okay, he's trying. So
At least
Anyway.
it'll suck the cigar smoke out the window.
So why don't you tell us a little bit? I did a little scoping around here Sunday evening around here locally. Rode down some roads that I haven't been down in 25 years, believe it or not. They're real close to me here, real close. In fact, I blame one of those valleys over there for one of the nights that I got vocalizations here from that side of that Route 136. And the more I rode down through there and caught a couple other roads, I'm like, yeah, absolutely, man, because it's really woolly in there now, big time. All scout camp lands, and
Oh yeah.
again, like I said, there was a lot of reports out of there over the years with uh, unidentifiable vocalizations over there and sounds. So yeah, okay, but anyway,
Yeah.
tell us what you rode over to the peninsula,
Yeah,
as we're
I
going to
went
call
over
it.
to I went over the peninsula the other night, and I still got to check out a couple places the next time I can get together with Mikey. Uh, I went out after dark, didn't
Right,
take any equipment with me, otherwise I would have stuck around a little bit. But
right.
it was too damn hot to be sitting anywhere listening. I mean, as soon as you shut the truck off, open the window, the heat was just hitting you.
Gotcha. We got you,
It
David.
it was bad.
Okay, am I back?
Yeah, absolutely. Now it's working.
Okay,
David?
man, I swear, every time like the same part in this.
Yeah, I know. Makes you wonder.
I'm
Huh?
here.
Things that make you go, hmm. Uh-oh. Sure, what happened? Yeah,
I
he's
wonder
muted
if
himself.
I wonder if it's us because of the storm. I don't know.
It is a possibility. Hi,
Maybe it's
Scott.
not affecting you and I because we're close enough together that it's
Well, we're in the storm, so it don't matter. But
yeah, we're in the storm. Well,
yeah.
while he's figuring out what's going on there,
Mhm.
I rode up through there. I didn't ride everywhere.
You're muted, buddy. You're muted, Jeff.
Anyway, I didn't ride. I don't know how I just did that, but and I'll have to take my thing away from the button there. Hold on. David and Greg and them, we were all up the night before, so I hadn't even slept, and I got up and went to work after that. I got off the phone with them.
Hi, V. Yep. Go ahead.
And I took a nap in the middle of the day after I got done milking. That evening, after I got done feeding, I went and rode over to the peninsula, and was over there till like 11:30 almost, and rode home. But man, that you get out past the town, and you get out around the park, and then get around the state forest, start heading to the park. Holy,
Mm-hmm.
there's houses there, but I mean it is pitch black.
Yep.
There is no light pollution. You pull over on the side of the road and you shut the truck off on one of those stretches where there's no houses, you ain't seeing nothing.
No.
I mean, there's plenty of pull-offs and spots where we could sit and listen. It was just so damn hot. Every time I stopped somewhere and rolled the window down, the heat wave was just hitting you. I'm like, I am not sitting here tonight and melting myself to death for.
Yeah, it's been pretty over triple digits here last couple 3 days. So
yeah,
it's been insane. Of course, there's a lot of other places too, but it's definitely
and
not
I
bad
had
here.
told Mark Green this last night when I talked to him, but we had.
Okay, we got David back. Yeah,
They just.
Can you hear us, David?
So do you want to put your camera on?
I can hear you.
Okay.
Oh, it's raining now.
Yeah.
No, this is good.
Yeah, it's pouring here. I think it is. I hear something.
You could probably hear it through my window.
So we have a big old storm coming too.
You say you're having a thunderstorm too?
Yeah, we're supposed to have hail, wind, and rain,
boy.
and that was even not even how do you say it, forecasted. It's just coming in right now.
Yeah. Well, we can hear you. Sometimes it's a little delayed, so we'll just hush and let you carry on. Otherwise, if we lose you, I'll just send you a message.
Okay, sounds good. I don't know what in the world's going on.
You guys can probably hear that through my window.
So this, so
Go ahead, David.
okay, so I was laying there with my eyes closed, and I can see that, the light flickering and stuff. And I sat up and told my mom to look at the red light, and without her lips moving or anything, I heard her voice say, "You're dreaming, son. Go back to sleep." And I was looking at her, and I could tell her lips weren't moving. The whole room was lit up like red, and I was still pointing at the red light that was like 10 feet away from me up in the corner of the wall and the ceiling right there. And I'm like, no, I'm not there. And when I turn and look at that red light, it was like 2, 3, poof. And so I want to back up and just say there was no sound, no smell, um, no smoke, no it's of anything. It was just this red ball of energy with a purple aura and like white sparkles shooting out of the red part and going out in the purple. And so I'm like, no, I'm not, Mom. It's right there. 2, 3, and now it's like waking up from a surgery, or waking up after you've passed out or fainted, how you're kind of confused and your eyes kind of start coming into focus and you're starting to see around you. And I was still looking towards my right hand that was pointing at the red light, the last memory I had. And what my left hand felt like it was still on my mom's hip. I could tell I was touching, I thought it was my mom. And now all of a sudden, as I'm kind of coming to, I'm looking at stars, not like you're looking from Earth and looking up at the stars, like I'm out in the darkness and it's just stars are bright and clear and beautiful. And uh, in that split.
Oh, did you hear that, Jerry? Through my speaker? Now,
Now I got a window right behind me. You can't see it
I'm
because
right
of the
next to
background.
this one.
Yeah,
It's right here.
yeah. We lost we lost you again, David. Like now, let me send him a message.
Well, if he's having storms and we're having storms, that's probably
This might not work tonight.
this is gonna be like a 5-part.
We'll get it in there sooner or later.
We'll
Yeah,
get it
Mark.
all out of him at some point.
Yeah. Friday and Saturday we're in the low 80s here. That's going to be like a freaking serious turnaround. It's going to be nice.
I know. It's gonna be
Yep.
wonderful. I
Yeah.
might actually be able to go out and ride around. No. I guess whatever is going on there, I'll pick up where I left off.
Yeah. Yeah, you got to get into the deer part you were talking about.
I got to take some. I next time I'm gonna make sure I got lights and all of my equipment with me so I can have some. I was just riding around trying to get a lay of the area at night, just trying to get a feel for it because I haven't been over that way in years. And, but I rode out to. I didn't go up that other direction where Mikey wants us to go, but you and I talked about that, Jerry.
Yes.
I rode out towards the lookout, and that one little area where the houses are right before you get to the entrance to that place. Now, keep in mind, before I got there, I noticed at certain places surrounding the forest, the forest land, that backs up to the the state ground, there were several houses, not all the houses, but quite a few that were lit up like a damn airport runway.
Right.
And I'm thinking, what do they need this much light for? None of these people are even outside after dark.
In these
And
particular houses, like you say, these houses were like back within within very
within the
close
boundaries of
proximity
yeah,
of the state
a
forest.
lot of
Yeah.
those houses that are back there are either right next to it or bordering it, up against
Yeah.
it.
Okay.
And it's I can't there's only a few places within the hour drive of here that I could tell you that feel dark when you get out there. Like, I mean, when
Mhm.
you get out there, it is pitch black. There's no light pollution. There's no nothing. And it's the perfect place for something.
There's not many places around here like that. I mean, we're out. I mean, you and I live out. We're not like around town or anything, but
Now,
you can still see the lights of like Bel Air or whatever.
yeah.
But, that's interesting. Yeah,
And there's
I gotta
going to
get
be
over
more
there.
development.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
back to what we were getting to,
Yeah.
the deer.
Yes, the deer. This is interesting.
Now, I've seen deer, and I haven't really asked too many people about this yet, but I talked to Mark about it last night, and he said that seemed kind of odd to him. Right in that area, right before you get to Turkey Point, and my father for years has told me that Turkey Point always seemed like a creepy area to him every time they ever went out there because he grew up over there. And the deer right there at the entrance, when I was coming past the houses, they all crossed the road in front of me. Well, as I was turning around, there was about 20 deer that just laid down in the front yard of a house. And I'm just looking at this going, well, that's not strange at all. And I even stopped the truck and I sat there and I looked at them. They didn't even care that I was within, spitting distance of them.
Right.
They just all sat there. They did not give one damn that I was there. Almost to
Well,
me, it seemed like whatever was in the woods was worse than what was in the front
alternative
yard.
plans. Yeah, they had another idea. They had different plans.
Yes, maybe thought they were because there's a couple of really nice houses right there with a lot of lights, and so I'm wondering if maybe that's why they came up there.
Could be.
That's another
Safety,
thing. When
maybe.
we get to start poking around some of those camping areas in there, I'm interested to see what.
Yeah, I plan to go to that one, especially that backs
Oh,
into
I'm gonna
right
be
in the heart of
camping
that
there.
forest. Yeah,
Yeah.
I plan to go there. So
I mean, when you're driving out, the river's right there. So,
Mhm.
I mean, it's right to the entrance of that lookout. And
yeah, you're down at Elk Neck. I'm talking about the one up in the state forest itself.
yeah,
That's the
yeah.
one I'm going to. Yeah,
That whole section out on that peninsula, especially where that lighthouse, it's
Uh-oh.
dark.
Okay, I'm going to say we just had a pretty serious
Mhm.
flicker of electric here. Things just got weak and then kicked back up. So if we disappear, we'll see you next week. So I can't help it, mother. If we lose electric, we're done. But yeah, oh boy,
Yeah. This is supposed to be a fun day and not a electrical
fun stuff.
outage day.
Poor David. I can't even get through to him. I can't get through to him on Messenger. Hope everything's okay out there.
David, are you?
Nah, he's not. He's
His,
not answering.
his icon's there,
Yeah.
and it went away again.
Yeah. Yeah, he's not having any luck. Doggone it. Uh-oh. I'm telling you, electric's going to be out of here very shortly here. Oh, boy.
You have
But
electric
anyway,
issues over there, Jerry?
not usually, not unless it storms. But it doesn't always lose it when it storms. But
Well, see, that's how it is here. It's usually like you get a real bad storm, nothing happens. But
yeah,
then you get like one that just pops up,
yeah,
and
yeah.
then it's gone.
Those
Now the
particular cells with a
house,
lot of wind.
now here, it's only an issue up at the barn if things go out. We got to start that generator because it's tractor operated. But if it goes out down here, I've got one of those propane ones that's
Right.
on an automatic switch.
Yeah.
I don't even, if I'm asleep, I don't even know if the power went out. Someone's got to usually
Right.
call me from up at the other farm and say, "Hey, you gotta you gotta come up and start the generator."
Yeah. Hi, Misty, and thank you.
Hey,
Definitely hit that
Misty.
thumbs up. Yeah. Yeah. No, we have generators. They're portable. They're not home generators. I always have the RV too. I can always go out there, put the antenna up, and the storm pouring down rain, and
Yeah, Jerry's gonna be like that guy from Supernatural working out of his RV.
yeah, man, it's equipped. It's ready to go. Yep.
I think we need to do a live. We'll have to do a live stream from the RV.
Sorry, I'm looking over here at the chat. Oh my
Gotcha.
goodness. But anyway.
Oh dear.
Yeah, I don't know.
I just saw it pop up on the.
Yeah, yeah. Poor David. I hope he's not over there just rambling on. Spencer's probably in bed, Scott. Right. That's what everybody says. He goes to bed early.
Scott, you know he's not awake. I think he's only watched like 2 of these shows.
That's okay. Who else wants to come on? Why not? You got a story?
Yeah,
I'll send you a link real quick. I'll
Wants
send
to
you a
come
link.
on, we'll send you a link. That's how I've ended up on some of Mary's shows. Who wants to talk?
I don't know.
Yeah, we're starting to get some more people in here.
Yeah. Let's see.
We're gonna get the beard on here soon.
The beard.
The other beard.
Anyway.
Mr. House.
Yeah, absolutely. I think he might have a story or two to tell us.
You think?
Just a little bit. I went back not too long ago, and Greg's still listening in here or not.
Hey,
I went back not too long ago.
Greg said he'd come on right now if you send him a link.
I'll send it to him. Not a problem. Hang in there. I'll send it to you right now. But I went back and watched those episodes with Mark and Larry. Yeah.
Yeah.
Pretty good. All right, let me get this open up here real quick.
He'll probably give me help with this, but I always tell him he's the only reason that I started doing this.
Relax, it'll be okay.
You might as well just get in chat at this point, David. I don't think we're gonna...
Yeah, I've sent him messages. I don't know if he's getting them or whatever, but all right, Greg, if you listen, I sent that in Messenger to you. But I don't know. I don't know what the problem is out there. I don't, maybe a storm did come in on them out there. I'm not quite sure, but it's sent to you, Greg, when you get a chance. But yeah, well, definitely we're gonna take a long day over there, or evening or something, and check the peninsula out a little more.
There's a lot of places I want to go
Yep.
right around, especially down there where you've been camping.
Oh yeah, yeah. We're going back there. We're going back there soon. Yeah, we're actually going to be there the the last week that they're open before they close for the winter. We're going to be there. So
I'll have to ride down and visit.
I will be. Cameras will be out. Audio recorders will be out for sure. Yep. See if I can get lucky.
I'm telling you, it's the river. It's that river. Everything around that damn river.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. Exactly. You know, you go. It's not far from the Pennsylvania line, and we all know up here, just north of us, there's been plenty of reports. Albatwitch. You know, Albatwitch.
Yeah.
One of these days, we're just going to sit down and
We're just gonna have to sit down and
read what we can find
do a
and
deep dive on what we can find,
Yeah.
and that's
exactly. We can't
I'm
get
gonna-
anybody to come on that's Albatwitch smart. So
I don't
That's okay.
understand why everybody's so damn like no one wants
people,
to.
some people don't like to talk. So I
They
understand.
want to do these festivals and stuff about the Albatwitch.
Yeah.
I understand if people don't want to talk about stuff. I already.
Hey, look who's back. Hold on, David. Hold on, David. Let me add you here. Okay, he's back. Maybe. We see you, but we can't hear you. Can't hear you.
Oh Lord.
Can't hear you.
I tell you, I swear it's StreamYard. Because
That's hard to say.
when we do stuff,
Can't hear you. Can't hear you, David. We can see you good, bright, and clear, but we can't hear you.
if we could somehow get the Messenger app to work as a streaming device, we could.
Yeah.
It works great for
Yeah.
group calls. But
Yeah.
this thing, I don't. What's he doing now?
I'm not sure.
David, you're muted.
Well, he's not muted. He just don't have eyes froze up now. I see a computer. This David knows sign language.
Oh man, I let my cigar burn out. Don't roast me, Spencer.
Well, doggone it. Can't get nothing to work, so. Yeah, now he's gone again. Don't think it's going to work tonight, folks. I'll send House a link.
And the way things have been going, we should just put on the we just should put on the message for the evening, live open chat or something.
Yeah. Yeah, when you have a guest, you're not really prepared to talk about anything else, but we really haven't been doing anything here. We've been busy, so.
I mean, everybody's been sweating to death, and it's just been.
Okay. Abby said Greg's trying to get in here, so sorry, Joe.
It's hard to do anything in this heat. Like, you don't have time to work on anything. You're trying not to melt.
Yeah. Yeah, it's been, like I say, we got two more days of this stuff, and it'll be out of here. So
hopefully
for a while.
Yeah, hope, but I pray it doesn't navigate down to Alabama, because that stuff is hot enough as it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, but the extra lighting on some of those houses what got my attention. Not all the houses, but there was a lot of houses that were up against that wood line that,
Yeah. Okay. House is in the house here. But anyway, there he is. Live from the man cave. Howdy, stranger.
Hey y'all.
How you doing?
Oh, pretty good, man. Just got done peddling, working this evening, and had to go by the grocery store and get some food. And then I come home or come to the man cave, and then Wanda and Abby came by. And of course, I've cooked supper for her. Abby's over here. Come here where we can see you. She's gonna get over here and get her 5 minutes fight.
That's fine. Come on in.
Hey, Abby.
Hi, Abby.
Right here. She's been over here reading chat and listening. To I can't.
David's still plugging in here.
Man,
Poor David.
He's trying.
I don't know what David's got going on. Man, everybody's internet's been messed up here lately.
Yeah, it's been crazy.
I know. I was talking to Miss Pat this week, and she said that the storms just had them all sorts of.
Maybe we're being governed.
Well, I mean, who knows?
Yeah.
Maybe.
Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, we hear you, David.
We got you, Brother Dave.
Hello.
That was weird, man. I don't know what's you guys. Hello?
Yeah, we're listening to you.
Hey, Dave.
Babe, then they can't. Okay, good. I was like, babe. I don't know what's going on.
Well, it's working now, so if you want to take off and
So
run,
what
that's
did
fine.
you guys even hear?
You were talking
What
about
did
the
you guys
plasma.
last hear?
You were talking about the plasma and then it cut out, I think is where we were at.
Yeah, pretty much. Yep. Your mom was telling you were dreaming.
Wow. Okay.
David talked about more.
All right, we'll try again.
Okay. It's okay. Don't get stage shy. You'll be okay. We can't see you.
Jeff, how in the world can we sit on that gum messenger and do video messages for hours and hours?
I know.
It'll never hiccup. It'll never blink. It'll work gloriously.
That's something.
And now his mic just went off.
Yeah, now he's muted.
Yeah. He's back. Maybe.
David. Oh, shit.
I don't know what's going on.
He's got a storm going on up there. We've got a storm here. So I don't know if that's what it is.
There's no telling.
Yeah, so Greg, you ever seen a Bigfoot dog?
Yeah. Well, it's been about 3 or 4 months since I saw one.
3 or 4 months? Wow. You're having a dry spring?
Have they been doing anything around your place? I noticed you said it's been pretty quiet.
Y'all, it's been quiet here for probably a couple months. But no, the last one I saw was the week before we went to, I guess it would have been around the last week of March this year because, we went to the LBL first part of April. And it was only like 5 days, I guess, before we went to the LBL when I pulled up out here at my man cave and that one was standing in my yard. So that's the last one I saw.
Wow.
But now I was on the phone with Kumbo. I was on the phone with Kumbo last night. I was talking to him and messaging Jeff and them. And Kumbo went out to let his dogs out. And he said, "Oh, God, I think Odin's back in the field and across about 400 yards from his house.
His one-eyed one.
He saw some big eyes, and he said they were spaced out bad, and he kept watching it. He said, well, maybe that ain't. Well, maybe it is. And then finally he was like, yeah, okay, I'm getting a better look at him. And he went up and went behind the set of trees where Spencer was in my truck, and Spencer filmed the whatever we saw that was up in the trees that night with the thermal. So, I mean, about 90% sure that what Kumbo saw last night was probably a booger last night while I was on the phone with him.
Oh.
And he's doing a show. He's going to be here. Kumbo's coming here tomorrow. He's going to do a show with DA and Robbie tomorrow night, but he's going to come down here and use my internet. So maybe that'll help
I
his.
remember you saying that last night, and I was like, damn, it's bad when he's got to go to Greg's to get service.
Yeah, well, where Kumbo's at, I mean, he's out in the country, and he's kind of like where my actual house is. I can't get high-speed internet. It's our internet.
Your
There's
service is better at the man cave.
Oh yeah, well, dude, I've got as good internet as you could get like Huntsville, Alabama, or Birmingham, Alabama, and I'm out in the middle of nowhere. There he is. He's back.
Yeah, he's back again.
I swear the powers that be don't want this to happen.
No.
It's been a fight.
They're more worried about
You know
us
what
talking
crazy
about
is?
the alien than they are about the Bigfoot for some reason.
Well, I'm just gonna tell
Exactly.
you,
Could be.
I've dealt with boogers plenty. I'll give me the boogers. David can keep them aliens out there.
I
Man,
agree.
You don't
I
want
would
you
go
don't want
back.
any of what I've heard about crawling around over here either.
Yeah.
I don't care nothing about meeting ET.
Nope.
I don't need a dog man in my backyard either.
No.
All right, David, are we gonna talk about the rest of this so we can get on to something else?
Man, I swear, it's like the last time I was on your show and when I was on Mary Fabian's show, when we get to the red ball, the exact same timing, that's when we lose it. That's what's so weird about this.
Yeah. You're going to have to start, instead of using the word alien, you're going to have to start calling it something different. Because then that'll be the Men in Black's picking up on it.
Our cosmic neighbors.
Yes. Yes. The Space Cadets.
ET will work. We'll know what you're talking about.
Yes.
Fire away.
Man, I told the whole story.
Oh, did you really?
told
Oh,
it for
no.
like 20 minutes.
Yeah, I was sending you messages. I was sending you messages that, hey, we lost you.
Crazy. So I'm not going to touch nothing. I'm just going to go from here.
We're all ears.
Okay. So the red ball and plasma. And I said, my mom said, "You're dreaming, son. Go back to sleep." And I said, "No, I'm not, Mom. It's right there." Then it was like 2, 3, 4, dunk. And I was, can you guys still hear me? I'm going to make sure.
Yeah, we're here.
Okay.
Don't stop. For God's sake,
And
don't
then
stop.
it was
Keep
kind of
going.
like waking up from surgery. Don't stop. So it was like waking up from surgery, or like if you had passed out or fainted, and you're like your eyes, your vision is coming back. And I was not in my mom and dad's bedroom no more. I'm still like pointing up at it, like, "No, I'm not, Mom. It's right."
We're still here. Oh boy.
It's like he left and came back in a different time frame. That was weird.
Yeah. Glitch Matrix.
Wow. Jesus.
This is wild. We're going to make him talk about something else, see if it cuts out.
I'm telling you.
We might
This
as
is
well
what
just have him go
third
to
time.
Bigfoot because I think something's going on. Every time he talks about the damn alien stuff, the thing it's gone.
Yeah.
But good Lord, Greg, you and River and David and I could have a conversation about anything on the messenger for 6 hours and it doesn't even cut out.
You know, and too, like here lately, us talking with River on Messenger, there's not hardly any lag to it at all. You know, back a year ago, I'd be talking to River and man, I could say something and it'd take it a second to get to him. When he replied, it'd take it a second to get back. Now, y'all, it's just like he's sitting right here with us.
Yeah.
It's got a lot better.
That's the way it was last week with him. It was real quick.
River went on his cell phone instead of his computer.
Yeah.
And we had a pretty good conversation with him just on that, Jerry.
Yeah, it worked great. There was no lag, no
yeah,
worked really well.
Oh, man,
it's I don't know. I'm not a technology wizard. I'm like Greg. I'm better at things that go boom than I am at.
Yeah, if you got some type of weapon you need took apart and put back together, I'm your guy. But I struggle with turning on this computer.
We're better at deconstruction than we are at reconstruction, Greg. That's what.
Yes.
That's what it gets down to.
Yes.
Oh, I see Harley's in tonight, huh? Hey, Harley. He said his internet's strong and clear. He doesn't understand why it's not working. The storm's over here, so.
And he's still there, but I don't.
Well, but it's not working.
I was in the kitchen in the man cave a while ago, and I could hear the podcast, and I heard Jeff. He said something about that I was the reason he started talking about this. We had a good laugh last night.
Oh dear God.
Jeff commented to me and River and David. He commented. He said, Greg's reason that I came out. And I said, wait a minute, brother, you got to rephrase that. You come out with Bigfoot. Don't be telling them that I'm the reason you come out. Unless you look, Bigfoot's an important part of that sentence.
Sometimes when I'm texting, I go too fast and I miss words. So
I was sitting there just chuckling. There he is.
Yep.
Can you hear us? Oh boy.
How's he keep changing? He keeps changing like close and far away and different poses.
We can see you, but we can't hear you.
Are you sure it's not an alien?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's been abducted.
David's been abducted again.
You better not be a lizard person. River will eat you.
I tell you, Greg, River damn near scared me to death yesterday.
Yeah, he had me in a panic. I mean, River tells us that his chest is hurting and he's feeling bad, and I'm thinking, well, and me and Jeff and David's all three is like, go to the hospital, call emergency help, do something. He's like, I'm gonna just lay down and take a nap.
I'm gonna take a nap, but I'm like, no, I'm taking a nap.
I'm like, you may not wake up from said nap.
And this is coming from the young guy in the bunch.
Yeah.
Don't be doing that.
Yeah, he figured out they'd messed his medicine up or something. He had me worried. And then he's like, oh, I shouldn't have never told y'all, man. It ain't right for me to scare y'all. And we was like, look, dude, you're family. We ain't about to it hurt my feelings. He made me feel like we was a total stranger. He's like,
don't hide nothing from me, right? Yeah.
Yeah, shit. I wanted to know if you got something wrong with you, tell me.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not above calling down there to Australia and trying to find a total stranger and see if I can pay him to go check on him.
David, you working again? No. Can't hear you. We can see you, but we can't hear you.
Now he's down by what beach is River by? He's not up in New South Wales. That's
no, he's down there at Melbourne. I think it's Melbourne.
Can't hear you.
Somewhere.
I can look at it on the map. I know about where he lives. I've looked it up.
He said the name of the beach or whatever he was next to.
I know it's New South Wales, but I don't know what the beach is.
He's from New South Wales, but that's
he's from the northern part. Yeah, I think we've ever talked. He's about 1,200 miles or so from where he was originally from.
Yeah, from New South Wales, I think. That's a
David said he
long
gives
ride.
up.
Golly, I don't know what the deal is.
I don't know. Maybe if we just don't mention the red light anymore.
I don't
No
know.
doubt. I was trying to figure out about what time it would be. It's probably about 1 p.m.
hours ahead of us.
Yeah, it's about 1 p.m. Wednesday evening there.
Yeah.
That's about what it is. It's about 1
Mhm.
1:30.
And you're what, an hour behind us?
Yeah. Y'all are Eastern. I'm Central.
Yeah. And then David's like 3 hours behind.
Yeah, he's Pacific time.
Pacific time, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's still early out there. What, 6:12? And no internet.
No, I can't believe that. I mean, where David is, I figured they would have great internet, but who knows? It might be something between here and there.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah, I don't know.
I got to talk to him here real quick.
Greg, did they ever do anything with those hairs that Roger got off of your?
I don't know. I mean, I don't know what they were, but he found some hair out here on something. I can't tell you what it was. It may have been off a dog. It may have been off a coon. I just know it was a hair about that long.
That's a pretty long hair.
Yeah.
That's
But
really
yeah.
weird.
I don't know. All I can tell you is I know something when I was sitting in that recliner right there, something grabbed that door that night. It jerked it hard. I mean, you have to pull it pretty hard. And I had just went to sleep. And I hadn't been asleep 10, 15 minutes, I'm guessing. Something jerked that door. I mean, that spooked me pretty hard. I mean, it takes a lot to spook me because I've been over here a lot by myself, and these things come around and tap the windows or beat the walls and scream and act stupid. And now when that one grabbed that dang door, it took me about 2.5 seconds. I had that 357 in my hand, thumb cock pointed at the door.
Yeah, no doubt. You don't know what's going on that door. Yeah.
And you keep a riot gun there with slugs and buckshot too, don't you?
Oh, right here across the room, about 14 feet, there's a gun rack that there's about 8 or 9 guns in. It's not a round chamber, but they're all you got to do is rack it and you're ready to roll. Yeah, I got a Riot 12 gauge sitting right over there, semi-automatic. That's it's loaded every other shell. Every other shell is slug and a buckshot, and then there's a double barrel. There's a double barrel Riot shotgun over there with a slug, buckshot and a slug in it too.
That's how I like to keep my one double I got. Usually got one of each in there. I
mean, that's both these bedrooms has got. There's guns in them. That back bedroom back there's got a AK-47 with 30-round mag stood up in the corner.
I remember Spencer saying something about that.
Yeah. Ain't gonna do you no good if you got to go open a safe to get it out. If you need it right then.
I'll tell you what, Greg. Alabama is a different world from us up here, isn't it, Jerry?
I've been to Southern Tennessee. I've never been to Alabama, and I'm sure there's not too awful much of a difference there. But yeah, it's a world of difference. Yeah,
for
sure.
You guys got way different regulations than we do up here.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah, y'all kind of got thrown under.
And all your stuff costs half the price. Good God, I don't know what it is, but up here, you buy something for $500, you better tack on another $5 to that. It's insane.
Yep, I agree. Yeah.
You carry any of that? You ever carry any of that slug shot? The
bucking
ball? I've got some of that stuff.
I'll tell you what, I've got a few rounds of, but I don't know what I've done with it. I got to get some more. I'm gonna buy some more of that dragon's breath.
Well, you gonna set them on fire?
Well, hey, look, dude, they don't nothing like fire. You know, I don't care what it is. You got a big screaming fireball on it, it's not going to be happy.
Well, that day I was on the show, you were talking about them being up on the roof of your man cave or something. or something was up there.
Yeah.
Yeah, well,
I actually talked to him a couple days after that happened.
y'all, that spooked me pretty hard too. I mean, it really did. That thing hit on top of the roof over there, and it was raining and the wind was blowing. And when it wasn't thundering and lightning or anything, but it was, wind blowing probably 5-10 mile an hour, and it was raining moderate. It sounded like, I first thought a big tree limb had fell out and fell on the roof because it's a metal roof, which is decked with plywood, and then you got tar felt and then metal. But it hit the roof of the porch part, and I'm talking about, it was horrendous when it hit. Bloom! And I first thought tree limb maybe that big, 12
And
feet
you
long.
built that place pretty solid, haven't you, Greg?
Oh yeah, everything I build is overbuilt. But anyway, and it went up the roof. I could hear it going up the roof it was coming toward me. So I had to go up the slope and then over the peak and then back down to the part where I'm sitting here. And I was sitting, my recliner that I sit in all the time is right here. Wanda's sitting over here in it. But that damn thing was on top of this house, and the cadence to it moving was pretty quick. And to me, it wasn't like something walking or even something running. It was in my mind. I could picture when you see like a big silverback gorilla, like where it's like both fists hit the ground and then it back, and then it kind of goes sideways. To me, that's what I was hearing. And y'all, look, I've had 200-pound, 240-pound guys on this roof walk around, and you don't hear them. You get up there, walk around, and I would never know it if you were walking. But this thing come across that roof and down this side. And the ceiling in this room, it starts out at 7 feet, and on that end, it's 9 feet, the slope. And because of the way I had to add on to this. But anyway, that thing came down the roof, and it stopped. I'm talking about directly, straight over my chair that I was sitting in. It was like I had it on a string, and like I was pulling it to me. It ran up and down the roof and stopped straight over my head. And y'all, when I heard it,
knew you was there. Yep.
Like it came directly to where my chair was.
Yeah.
Y'all, I'd done reached beside the chair and came out with a 357 Magnum, and I've done laid back, and I'm pointed straight up at the ceiling, and I backed the hammer. And I'm like, oh boy, you fall through, it's going to get really loud when you come down on top of me.
Yeah.
And, the thing stood still for about 60 seconds, give or take a few seconds. I'll just say a good minute. It's just quiet. I'm still hearing the rain, the wind, but this thing got quiet. I'm talking about directly over me. And all of a sudden it takes off, and like where it came from this way, when it leaves, it goes this way. It come in like at a clock. It came in at 1 o'clock. Well, then it left at 4 o'clock, and it ran down the roof line. And when it got to this bedroom where they usually hit the wall, it jumped off the roof, and which I never heard it hit the ground, but it took off, and that's probably going to be probably 25 feet, the distance that it went that way, or a little further. It went off.
No damage on the metal roof anywhere where it stepped or
nothing was damaged, which, like I said, this is decked with plywood and then the metal on top of it. Yeah. But a couple of weeks, 10 days, couple of weeks later, I guess, Troy, my buddy Troy, came from Georgia. He come over here, check on me about my, my ankle was messed up, and I had surgery and all that. Troy come and stayed, and he got out there and he looked on top of the porch, out the porch where I heard it hit. And I got a bunch of pine trees, and there's a bunch of pine straw because I hadn't been able to get it on the roof and clean it off. Well, it's like a layer of pine straw. He said in that pine straw, he could see where something had went up had mashed the straw in a line. It went up like I told him. It went over the peak, and it come down this side. And he said, right here where my chair is, he said there was a big old spot where the straw was stomped down. And he said, then you could see where it ran down this way. He said, you could track it in that pine straw on the roof. He said, I could see exactly where it went and where it took off. Then he went down here on the end of my cabin, and about 8 or so feet from the end wall, in the pine straw and the leaves, he found a big spot where something he said, like it hit the ground and slid. And it kind of like wrinkled it up, like wrinkling a rug up.
Yeah.
But yeah.
You heard it on the roof, Greg, you said it originally sounded like it was on 4 feet or 2.
Yeah, it said just a big boom when it hit.
Yeah.
But the cadence of it coming over, up and over, I believe it was on like its hands and its feet. You know, as it came over and it went.
So it was knuckle walking up over the roof is what it was doing.
That's what I think. That's exactly what I think. But
wow, that's.
yeah,
I would say
Have
that's
you ever
cool, but
seen-
that's
have
a
you
little
ever
hairy.
seen one do that? Have you ever actually seen one?
no, the ones I've seen, Jeff, they've all been running or pretty much running or walking really quick across the road. Oh, no, I still can't. The one that I saw that was in the woods over here that I walked up on that day, I'll come up with the idea that I think is probably plausible what it was doing. And I think, well, is that right or not? Because I walked in there that day and that one was probably 150 yards from me. But I was in a place that I didn't really go to, and I would usually go the other way when I parked my truck. But I walked in there and I went through, it was a big pine big pine timber. It wasn't a thicket, but it was big pine timber. And then you came out to where the hardwoods was.
Yeah.
And it was just, you walked out a ridge and it dropped off real steep down about 100 something yards, and it flattened out about 20 yards and then went back up another big mountain.
Now, this isn't the place that you hunt anymore.
No.
This is the old place.
But the exact place I'm telling you is the same place where I was sitting when the one got mad about the motorcycle revving up. Same place. I walked into there, and when I popped out into where it went from just pretty much predominantly pine straw, where you could walk really quiet, to where I was going to step in some hardwood leaves where they were crunchy. I made about 2 or maybe 3 steps where it kind of crunched, and I was going slow, trying to be as quiet as I could. When it was like down below me, down this slope, about 150 yards, it was like the whole world exploded. It was like you had took and buried somebody under a pile of leaves, and like they jumped up to scare somebody. It's like there's just like leaves and sticks and limbs and just shit going everywhere, just like an explosion. And I see this big black mass just come up, and it just takes off. And I cannot figure for the life of me if that thing had like a small TP something, or if it was just I don't know if it was laying down covered up in leaves and sticks to hide. I don't know if it was in like some type of structure. I don't know, because I'm looking this way, and when I like hear something and like my eyes go to it, so it's kind of like I'm hearing it and it's catching a peripheral, and by the time I focus on it, the stuff is like flying through the air, and it's just like raining down. And I'm not kidding y'all. It was like you had just piled up a big pile of leaves and sticks and debris and just exploded it. And I'm just seeing it go out like rain down everywhere. And then this big creature tears out of it. And that thing's going up the hill away from me.
How far were you from it when it did that?
Probably 150 yards, maybe. Well, we'll say between 100 and 150.
Why in the world did it do that and not just sit there?
That's a damn good question.
Yeah.
But that
if
thing
it was that covered up, I wouldn't think that something like that would even move.
I don't know. I mean, the whole thing, it was just explodes out of this and takes off, just hauling butt up this hill. And, it's big hardwood timber there where it was and where I've just stepped out into. So it's like, there's trees between me and it, but not a lot of underbrush. So I can see it, and and then it's behind trees. So it's going up this hill, and it's going up, but it's zigzagging, going around trees and back and forth. So it's like I can see it. Whoop, there's tree. Oh, there it is. And I'm watching it just dart around this timber, and it went up to the top of that ridge and went over it, and it went out of sight. I don't know where it went.
Have you ever seen like shallow dugouts in there? And that, I know you don't research it and look for that kind of stuff, but
not really.
Makes me kind of wonder if because I've heard stories that they'll do that. Assume they'll do that, and I wonder if maybe just kind of was down in one of them and got covered up with it
Now, Greg,
itself and jumped
This
up.
is the one thing I don't think I've asked you. In some of the places around there, have you ever been able to just see their track impressions where they walk up through the leaves and stuff?
Big ovals about that wide, about that
Uh-huh.
long.
Well, I told you about when I found that trackway in Western Maryland. We were on that turkey hunt, and it was dry ground. I mean, there was nothing. I found that one track where it had kind of smushed the leaves out of the way a bit, where it stepped. But the rest of those tracks, you couldn't see, detail or nothing, but you could see, and like I said to Spencer, something with an astronomical amount of weight was putting their foot down, two at a time with, size 16 at least going up this ridge line. It's dry ground. I mean, it looks like there's something that weighs as much as a Angus bull going up this ridge.
Yep. Jeff, I've seen
that kind of indentation. There's no way that somebody's going to be out there messing with that in the middle of where we were at, especially in snake season.
First footprint I ever saw was over here on the land that I still hunt now. It was off in a canyon, off in a big gorge. Grown up, North Alabama, some of the nastiest growed up briars, sawbriars, blackberries, just deep dark woods full of ticks, snakes, copperheads, rattlesnakes, cottonmouths. Horrible, nasty.
I know you said you don't do much turkey hunting because of the snakes.
No, sir. That's one thing kind of keeps me out of the woods during turkey season. But look, my cousin had a guy come in and look at this timber about cutting it, to tell him kind of if it was worth cutting, which it was worth cutting, because he was wanting to know what they would offer him for the timber. Well, the guy went in there and looked at the timber, and he come back out and says, "Look, I'm not interested." And the guy told his dad, his daddy said, "Well, there's some good timber in there." He said, "Yeah, but we're not cutting it." He said, "What do you mean?" He said, "I'm not going back in there." He said, "I found a track down there on that branch, little old creek." He said, "I'm not going back in these woods." He said, "Was a big old cat track?" He said, No. He's like, "It's about that long, but it looks like a person footprint. It's about that wide. It's got 5 toes." Said, "I ain't going back in these woods." Well, my cousin called me and told me about it, and I went over there. I mean, I was over there within an hour of that guy finding it. And I went in there right where the guy said it was. Sure enough, there it was. And that track was like 16 inches long and 9.5 inches wide. And at that time, I was over 300 pounds. I was a big old boy. I could step off the side of the bank and step within, a foot of where it was on the same soil. And I had on a pair of Timberland hiking boots. And I was just barely marking the sand because that sand was, hard from where the water had it hard. You could just barely see the tread in my shoe. And me 300, over 300 pounds. Y'all, that thing was mashed down over 1/2 inch deep. And it had a whole lot bigger tread than what I had. So it was massive. Wow. And there ain't a Chinaman chance in hell that somebody would have tried to hoax that. I mean, they ain't no way. Because
Not in that area.
No, it was 1,000,000 to 1 shot that anybody would have ever saw that.
Yeah. It kind of puzzles me sometimes. I got a kick out of you hear stories like that, and people are in the middle of nowhere, and it can even be wintertime, and they're like, "Oh, that's just somebody back there barefoot." Really?
No.
Come
y'all.
on, people.
Well, I'll tell you what, when I walked in there, I had on a pair of leather hunting boots. And before I went in them woods, I put on a pair of the chaps, the snake-proof chaps.
Yeah.
And I fogged down with bug spray and everything else. We still got ticks all over us. Yeah. But y'all, I would not even go in there without having snake chaps on. I mean, it was that bad. And we was cut all 2 pieces with briars.
Yeah. Yeah, that cracks me up when I hear people say that stuff.
Y'all,
that's the only thing I haven't seen yet. I haven't witnessed the track yet.
Greg,
Witnessed a
that
bunch of
area
other stuff,
we've
but
been
no track.
checking out lately, it's full of ticks. I mean, you gotta really that county's got.
Well, Jeff, you're talking about tracks. Right here, if you go out this door, right here, there's a door right there. Go out this porch, and it's about 20 feet to my propane tank. If you walk directly to the propane tank, go down a little swag and back up a hill, it won't be 100 yards over there to where Misty's Aunt Sherry and Donna a year ago this September.
Was that where they were putting their kayaks in or something?
Well, no, that's this way off the hill about 200 feet. This is just the other direction from the water. They found like 3 different size footprints right here. I'm talking about less than 100 yards from my porch. I think it was like
I remember that now.
It was like a 9, maybe a 13 or 14 inch, and then like an 18-inch track. Coonbo found some tracks over here nearly in the same place, probably a year apart. But I know they found some here that was 18 inches.
Ooh.
Which that kind of coincides with the booger that I seen here in the yard, and the one that Al saw right here at the propane tank. He's going to be 9 foot or better.
Yeah.
That's about what Mikey's found over there where we've been looking.
19. I think he had one of his casts was 19 inches. Yeah.
Yeah, something like 19, 20.
And you look at the place on a map, you're like, I've been over there before, but it's been many years. I went over and checked out the Elk Neck State Park down in the bottom of the peninsula. Oops, gave it away where it's at. But anyway, the campground down there, I went and checked that out.
Yeah.
But there's other areas there, not down in that area. I guess when I went through, I just wasn't paying attention.
Greg, that place is so big. You get out there at night and it's dark. I mean, there's houses out there that surround the area, but it's dark. Now, This was what I was asking Mark Green last night. You ever been places around there where deer just lay out in people's yards?
Yep, every now and then.
When I went there Sunday night, so don't ask me how I managed to do this. I stayed up with you guys all night Saturday, went to work at 4 a.m. He'll tell you I was cooking sausage on the Blackstone at 4 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
And I slept for a couple hours in the middle of the day and then went back out and boogered until about 11:30 and then rode back over to the house. I damn near fell asleep before I got home. But the deer at this one area, there's a lookout that you go out towards an old lighthouse. And there's houses right there when you pull up. And before I even turned around, these deer had already bedded down in the front yard of this house.
Yeah. Well, here we see a lot of deer in people's yards. I'll see them every now and then. They'll be eating azalea bushes and everything else in people's yards.
Yeah. Where we live, it's not a thing though. But if you drive over there,
not in the yards. We have them out in the hayfield.
Yeah.
They'll bed down right behind.
I've never seen a place like that remote where the deer are just out in people's front yards. It seems kind of
the
whole herd. I mean, there was probably 20 does that just sat right down in this yard, and I'm looking at it going, well, that's not.
What interests me is the well lit areas.
There were some houses up against the state ground that looked like airport runways, and I had said something to Mark about that last night, and I said, and he was telling us the same thing.
He's too busy eating now.
No,
I gave up.
Oh, now it works great.
That's gonna be fun.
Of course.
That's because we're not talking about the.
Yeah.
Yeah, don't say
E.T.
Yeah.
I want to listen to Greg anyway. He's way more cooler.
Oh my God. I don't know about all that.
We do.
Well, Maybe David can tell some of his Bigfoot stories, and that won't get us delisted
Yeah.
again.
Oh no, Abby, come here. Look who's finally drug up in here. Misty did.
Hey, Misty.
Yeah.
She's in there in chat.
Misty's back. She's done selling.
She was in here earlier, went to cook dinner, and then come back on.
Yeah. Oh my.
David, why don't we talk about the? Didn't you say that there was something that ripped when you were a kid? Ripped the side of the camper off, or what was it?
It broke plywood on our mobile home.
Mm.
Let me cue this real quick. Yeah, so it was 1979 and just turned 1980, and the only reason why I remember that was because I had put 1979 on my schoolwork, and it just turned 1980, so I had to erase it and change it. And
You was still in school?
I was. That was the one year I went. Hey, I'm a young buck. Not really, but anyway.
Everybody's younger than me here. Trust me. It seems like every time I turn around, I think, he's older than me. Nope. But anyway.
Nope. It got Jeff as a young buck here.
Yeah, I'll see my first Bigfoot he wasn't even thought of.
Hey, you guys keep making fun of me. I know I'm the young one.
I thought Jill the other day for Jill's birthday, he told us how old he was. I thought they were lying. I thought he's got to be older than that. I've got hunting clothes older than Jill.
He's still a youngin'.
Hey,
Hasn't even seen the big
I've got
4-0 yet.
Who's older than me too, Greg?
Go ahead, David. I'm sorry. We cut you off again, brother.
No, it's good. This is way better than actually getting cut off of the show.
You might as well just go ahead and try to tell your Bigfoot part of it. We might as well go ahead and try it.
The Bigfoot or back to the alien part?
If you want to try it, go ahead. But I warn you, it's starting to thunder here again. But go ahead.
Oh,
so the red light came in the house. Looked like plasma. Okay, we're gonna get cut off here, but here we go.
Maybe
Go back
not.
to the Bigfoot. Good Lord.
No, let him go. Let him go.
Yeah, don't stop it. And so I suddenly was not in my mom and dad's room, and I'm looking out in the stars. Hey, and Jerry, if you can't hear me no more, just give me a thumbs up or a thumbs down.
Got it.
Okay. And then
I usually just do this.
okay, that's a good signal. And I'm now looking, instead of looking at this red light, I'm looking at stars. And holding my hand was a red-haired Bigfoot, had black skin, black fingernails. Hi, Abby.
Hey, David.
Good to see you.
Good to see you too.
She was proud to say David in here, but I was pointing out that Patrick Noble's in there, son. Her no Patrick's like that.
Yeah.
Old Patrick.
Look at that. Go ahead, David. We didn't mean to mess you up.
No problem. No problem. Abby's the star of the show right now. So I was holding the hand of what I would call like a young adolescent or a young Bigfoot, red haired, black skin, had black fingernails, but went to a point kind of like a vampire's fingernails. I could see the black or the white streaks in the fingernails like we get. And holding it was looking down at me and had big, huge white in its eyes and the brown pupils, and had that like surprised look on its face. And looking down at me right beside me, and then holding its hand, but standing at an angle to us was Mom. I couldn't see breasts, couldn't see no male or female.
Uh-oh.
I'm telling you.
It's the alien. I swear. It's the,
I mean, it'd be going good, and then just blew.
Now we can't hear you. We can see you, but we can't hear you.
we just can't talk about the alien anymore.
It must be the alien stuff.
We're going to put Jerry on the messenger one night so
No doubt.
David can tell them
Oh,
the story.
I'm telling y'all, look, I've been through some weird stuff. I've seen some crazy stuff, been through weird stuff. I don't want to experience the stuff that David's experienced. Nope, I'm done with that.
No,
So,
no alien stuff here.
Have you ever seen any apparitions or anything, Greg?
Not well. Yeah, well, the main thing I saw was me video messaging with River and watching the curtains in his house stand straight out and just sit.
I've seen him do that too at his house.
God dang, dude! I watched that about 7 or 8 times one night in the course of an hour. That was the weirdest stuff I've ever seen in my life. I mean, look, that was not fake. That wasn't hoaxed. That's some crazy shit. Thank God that was on the other side of the world.
I'm not into that ghost stuff either, man. No, thank you.
No, I was the only other weird thing that I've ever seen that creeped me out really bad. I was crawled up under a house that was built in the 1800s, and I crawled under it, and it was real low. The floor was real low, and this house had originally been built up on, like stacks of rocks, and then later on they then closed it. And y'all, I crawled under that thing. I was trying to run a gas line, and I had to crawl under a big sleeper beam. And like not, never got my fat self under it, but I got under it and I come out. And when I did, y'all, I mean, this floor was low. I mean, I could just barely like have my head, straight up. And I could turn it, but I couldn't raise my head up and down. I mean, I was nearly face planting into the dirt. And y'all, I come under that beam, and when I did, I was really close to where I drilled a hole for that gas line, and I could see it. But y'all, so help me, I heard it sound like a kid's voice. And I'm talking about close. I'm talking about like within 3 or 4 feet to my right. It was like I had surprised a little kid, and the kid goes, "Hey." And I jerked my head, like whip it and look, and the light comes that way. And there ain't shit. It's just dirt.
Yeah.
I mean, dirt and spider webs, and I'm freaked out. And I thought, well, okay, maybe and it's an old guy that's there. He's probably upper 70s, and he's up in the house. Well, when I come out, he had a TV on, but it was like it wasn't turned up very loud. And I thought, well, maybe somebody's here or something. Well, I had to crawl. Well, as I crawled just a little bit, I looked, and from where I heard that voice, it was like a dugout spot. I mean, probably a 3 or 4 foot, like a circle. And it was dug down. It was like a big old bowl.
Yeah.
And I got there and looked over in it, and there was something laying in the bottom, and it was like just a wrinkled up looking thing about that big. Well, I reached down and got it, and it was a leather drawstring bag. And it wasn't totally rotted, but it was in bad shape. And that thing had a stinking handful of clay and glass marbles. It had clay marbles.
Wow.
But it was a bag of marbles. They don't tell how long it'd been under the house. Well, I got the gas line, poked through the hole, done what I had to do, and I come out. Well, I carried that bag of marbles with me, took them out, went around, went into the guy's house. I said, I found something under this floor. I said, you must have lost them when you was a kid. And he's like, what? I said, you lived here your whole life, didn't you? He said, yeah. I said, I grew up in this house. I said, you ever get under this house and play marbles? I'm like, no. I said, well, somebody lost these under there. And I handed him that bag or set it on the table. He said, what? I said, it's a leather bag with a drawstring. It's got marbles in it. He said, I didn't ever get under there and play no marbles. I said, well, they've been under there a long, long time.
Wow.
But I don't know, but that was creepy, y'all. I can't explain that. I didn't see nothing, but I damn sure heard it sound just like a 5 or 6 year old, and it was a boy's voice. It was like a 5 or 6 year old little boy, and I heard the word hey, and I mean, when I whooped my head, it was like there ought to have been a kid laying there, but there wasn't nothing. But I damn sure found that sack full of marbles.
I guarantee you woke up real quick too.
Boy, yeah, it wasn't
I've
nothing.
been,
Yeah, I
I've
was
been,
ready to get the money in the house.
I've been under in those tight situations under houses and stuff, doing heating and air like you did, and
Yeah.
yeah, you don't need to be hearing anything. It's
No.
hard
It was
enough
probably
dealing with
someone
being in that
before
tight
him.
space. It's
Yeah.
crazy.
It was somebody there before him, probably.
Hey, I'll tell you. I'll tell
How
you what.
old was that house, Greg?
The what?
How old was the house?
It was built in the 1800s. Yeah, it was. This house had been built by
Yeah.
like his grandparents. So yeah, I mean, there
Somebody
had been
else-
other kids there too. I know.
Somebody else prior to him left that there.
Oh yeah, that's what I figure.
Yeah.
Yeah, that
Wow, that's
I've
creepy.
seen some odd things under houses and around houses, and got a lot of creepy feels here and there. But I can't explain a whole lot on that. But I damn sure heard that voice. I mean, it was plain. It was like about a 5 or 6 year old little boy,
Yeah.
and he just said, "Hey," just like I surprised him.
Now, have you ever heard like old family members or anything like that? Because I've had some stuff similar to that happen. I mean, even right here, I'm pretty sure we caught old Charlie Glasgow on the security camera one night.
Oh wow!
Yeah, and they were the owners before us. And there's only 3 families that have lived on this property.
Wow!
I mean, my family's always owned up here, but when we bought this, we were the 3rd family to own it. And I think the house was built in 1890.
Wow!
And, it's
been there a while.
but there's others like there's stuff up there. I've seen apparitions and said stuff. And well, down here, I told you that one night I was on the phone with Barry Browning, and I'm looking out the front yard. River he had to step off to do something, and he wasn't talking to us at the time. But I'm looking out in the front yard, and here comes it looked like a black cloud came out of the corner of the yard, and I'm on the phone with Barry, and I'm thinking, how in the hell is this? What is this thing? And it's coming across in front of me, and he's talking to me, and I just stopped, and I'm like, what in the is that? And it comes across the driveway out towards the fence, and it just disappeared into the dark corner of the yard. And it was you could kind of see through it, but I mean it was like a cloud
Wow!
of energy. And it was one of the strangest things that I've ever seen. River thinks that maybe it was because of the proximity I was to because there's a cemetery not far from us.
Yeah.
So he wonders if maybe it was something related to that. But I don't know.
Look, I dang sure don't go looking for haints and spooks and paranormal like that. I mean, it's bad enough what I've dealt with for 24 years with Bigfoot, much less. I've got enough on my plate. I mean, Jeff, I don't know about up there where y'all are, but like here, like me growing up, my daddy was really stern and strict and this and that. And like when I was a kid, if even Abby's age, I mean, she's 12, but at her age, if we went to the cemetery, you didn't just walk across cemetery all willy nilly and here and there and whatever.
Yeah.
No,
well, that's
sir.
how it is around here.
Buddy, you walk in line. You don't walk across graves. You walk the headstone and go behind them. You don't just traipse around just like you're walking on a football field. No.
Right.
No. They don't do that around here either.
Nope. Yeah, we learned that. There's a cemetery right beside my grandmother's trailer up here. And they moved this where she ended up. It was an old house they tore down.
From here. And Jerry knows which church I'm talking about.
Yeah, we played in that cemetery quite a bit, but you didn't fool with the tombstones, and you watched where you walked.
Yeah.
And another thing around here is UFOs.
Yes, unfortunately.
What are you hearing now, Greg?
I'm looking over here. Wanda's over here. She's telling Abby to get her shoes. They fix to go on. That's why Abby's not wanting to go. Mama's telling her to get her shoes. Yeah, I got to get me some loving. She's fixing to go.
Wanda's hiding from us tonight.
Yeah, she's
She's
over there.
on the chat, but she never. There she.
We'll get her in here one way or the other. Yep, she's over there hiding. Oh. Yep. All right, let me.
UFOs have been a big thing around us. Is that something you guys see a lot, or is it?
No, not really. Hey, hang on. Y'all give me just a second. Let me
Yep.
get out of this recliner. I'll be right back. Let me get them out of the car.
Yep.
Greg security detail.
Yep.
I knew that was going to happen.
Dave just resorted to chat. He's not going to bother coming back when he's in the chat now.
He always makes sure they make it to the car.
Sure. Absolutely.
That's gonna be fun tomorrow night.
Yeah, I have a show tomorrow night.
Coonbo live from the man cave.
What time is that, I wonder?
8:00, I think. 8
Central.
or 9. We'll check with.
Yeah, I have to ask Greg.
Greg when he gets back.
Yeah, I have a show at 8 Eastern, like tonight.
Yeah, tomorrow's
8
your
to 9.
regular show, isn't it?
Yeah.
Well, you guys actually got some footage this time.
Yeah,
You didn't
got
have
plenty.
You didn't have any rainouts or nothing like that.
No rainouts, and 2 of us were filming, so another guy's going to take care of an event he had over at Lebanon.
How'd they do filming at Delta?
Good. Mike did good. No problems.
Are you guys gonna have
Whoa. Crash.
I'm back. I might fall in the chair. This recliner's super comfortable, but I think it's made for midgets because it's low. My God.
Hey, when I come to visit, it'll fit.
No doubt.
Half pint.
Yeah,
it was a good show. It was a good show.
Yeah,
Video
we were
wise.
talking about Jerry's. Jerry was
Some videos. Yeah, there's some of them are posted already.
doing his real life work this weekend, videotaping tractor pulls.
Oh wow!
Finally.
Greg, do they do a lot of tractor pulling down your way?
They used to do it a lot, but I mean, I guess they still do some, but it's not real big like it used to be. Does that make sense?
Jerry mainly does the
Tennessee has a lot of events.
Jerry does a lot of the hot farm stuff and the big ones.
Mm-hmm.
Well, they have a team from over there in Tanner, Alabama.
Well, see, I'm not that far from Tanner.
Yeah,
but
that's Haney's. The last name's Haney's. They do a lot of. They've been pulling for years.
Really?
Yeah. Yep.
You do the trucks too, don't you, Greg? Or not?
Do what now?
I meant to say Jerry. Jerry, you do the trucks
Yeah,
too.
I'll do anything, man.
Yeah.
Anything from antique up to big stuff.
They had some. They were bringing in some trucks Saturday night when I was leaving.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yep.
Now,
we'll film it.
Schedule anything that we met that.
Sometimes, if they have a rain date, they will. Yeah.
Well, now I guess David gave up finally.
He's in chat.
Yeah, he's in.
Man, I don't know what the world it is. I mean, he was doing fine. He started talking about you know what, and then zip.
When he was on his granddaughter's computer a couple of weeks ago or so, 3 weeks ago, maybe it was. Man, it worked great. But we didn't get his whole story then, unfortunately. And
I guess we're just gonna have to bring him back on in the future and not talk about that section because that seems to be what I don't know what it is about that, but the only other time he's talked about it was on I think Sawdust Beast and Woodwalkers. That was the only time it worked. Any other time we've tried, like Mary's show the other day, it was gone. And then we've tried 2 or 3 times on here, and it ain't worked.
Yeah, and for River it worked great. Once he turned his camera off, it was no problem.
Yeah, River and River's all the way over
Yeah,
in Australia, and his cell phone had better reception than his damn
Than his
computer,
internet?
so I don't know.
mm-hmm.
Thing about River though, y'all, you got to get River. You need audio and visual with River.
Yeah.
I mean, you need the full River event. I mean, you
need the
full,
full,
get it all.
You need the River experience, is what
Yes,
you need.
sir. Man,
I've seen
River,
on Kerry Arnold's show a couple times that it was always a fight then for him to keep the signal going. Back then,
yeah. How did Spencer manage to get him for that one show? Because he had him on there pretty good. I don't know what.
you talking about River?
Yeah.
I reckon the stars aligned or something. Oh my gosh, Misty, y'all reading Misty's in chat. Said her neighbors that she thinks are trying to call Bigfoot.
Oh,
oh really? I didn't
That's
see
what
it.
she's saying. Misty, get over and call back to them.
Misty, you better get that SKS ready in case something happens.
That's what I'm talking about.
That's hilarious.
Yeah,
That's not good actually.
I
Be
haven't
calling them into your
I
house.
haven't been paying attention to chat, but good Lord, is chat blowing up here?
well, that's
Yeah.
what I was looking. Chat's rolling pretty good. And y'all, I mean,
We got some Marylanders in the chat too. So.
Yeah, so we gotta get hooked. Well, you talk to the one. We're gonna talk about
I
the
talked to the one, and he's had
Duayo
some DM.
dog man.
Well, Greg, in Maryland, there's a name for dog man. It's called Duayo.
Duayo, yeah.
Wayo.
Duayo. DWAOYYO.
And
DWAYO.
Barton Nunley just had a guy from Maryland on last Wednesday, Cornell, and he's had some encounters with the
William Bonney. There's a William Bonney in chat. He's from Maryland.
Huh.
The more I dig, I've been digging here in bits and pieces on the Duayo dog man. Uh-oh. Now I gotta behave. My wife's in here. But
well, go ahead.
it's dog man seems to have quite a history in this freaking area, unfortunately. I ain't happy about that, but I haven't seen anything that I know of.
Oh,
Evidently it's got some history here. So
now what I was going to say, I meant to do this or say something a while ago, but Jeff, did you see that Phyllis had posted she's got surgery tomorrow?
Oh, good Lord. I saw that. I'm like, what is with everybody getting surgeries? Wendell just had an operation, and now Phyllis is having something, and
Man, everybody's
got to go in for his. Is he getting a pacemaker? What are they putting in?
No, DA told me it's not a pacemaker. They're putting a defibrillator in him.
Oh.
okay.
Well, that's going to make podcasts interesting.
Maybe if he gets eaten by dog man, that'll eat him up, electrocute him.
Yeah.
Now, Greg, have you ever watched that Joe Bald video?
What
did with the thing poking its head out from behind the tree?
Yeah, I saw part of that. I know. I don't know if I've seen it all, but I have seen parts of that.
If you blow that thing up and look at it on a bigger screen like a computer, or you can put it on your big screen TV, there is something's there. It's not supposed to be there. Let's just put
yeah. Like I said, I hate we had Coonbo and DA. had them on Woodwalker Sunday, but
I
you know,
know. I felt bad because my stuff was all backed up, and I thought we were still talking about Dogman. And then I went, and you were talking about Bigfoot, so I was completely off topic about
yeah.
buckshot.
Well, the bad part was Combo's internet is horrible. I'm talking about it's worse than horrible, and so that's why to get him and Da pretty much a little more introduced to each other. He's going to come here tomorrow, and then he'll have good internet. I hope, unless something mystical, magical happens.
I tell you, Kumbo is. I have listened to. I'm starstruck every time I listen to that man. I don't. He's the Godfather as far as I'm concerned. I can't put anybody else really up on that list. But
well, the thing about him, I mean, he's not only to go looking for these things. I mean, they're there on their farm. He grew up around them.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the thing of it is, and that's what it's hard for a lot of people to understand it. Do you live somewhere where they're there where you're at? I mean, it's kind of the difference.
We get them moving through here, but nothing like what you or him or anybody down in that area has. I don't know what it is about the South, but
which I think right here, right now, I think they're really kind of staying laid up because it's so dadgum hot. I think they're probably somewhere where they on the creek or in the rivers, the creek, the lake. They're somewhere really close, or either up in a cave somewhere. I don't think they're out moving a lot. I mean, I think it's just so miserable hot that they're just not that active.
Smart place to be in a cave right now with this weather.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, if I was going to come down there, it definitely had to be like in the fall or the winter time or early spring because
thunder's getting big, boys.
Nothing wants to move. The deer don't want to move. Nothing wants to move.
Yeah, I don't even want to move.
I don't either, but unfortunately,
you should be pretty stinking busy
in the farm business, and you doing that HVAC stuff.
Yeah, right.
You got to work in the evenings or the early mornings, or it don't.
Well, but back before I messed my ankle up, I mean, y'all, I tell people, I'd work over 100 hours a week, and they'd look at me like I'm crazy. But yeah, when you leave home at 7:00 and you work till 7 p.m. and then you stay out till 2 a.m. and then or 3 a.m. or 4 a.m. You go home, take a shower, grab something to eat, sleep about an hour or two, jump up and go to work again. You do that 7 days in a row. Yeah.
Yeah. People don't want to hear. Yeah, they don't. Sorry to interrupt you. They don't want to hear the word no when they ain't got no air conditioning.
Well, and they don't want to hear when you tell them, well, I know your air's out and, the heat index is 112. I can be there a day after tomorrow. No, I tell people, I say, look, I'm stacked up with calls. I'll work in, but, it's probably going to be 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning. And they're like, what? I'm like, well, look, I can either go home and sleep in my cool house or I can come to your house about 1 a.m. And they're like, you're going to be out at 1 a.m.? I'm like, unless you want to stay hot till tomorrow evening, no, we'll stay up.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll roll up and sometimes I can fix it in 20 minutes. Sometimes it'd take 2 hours.
When I was doing it was back in the days you carried a beeper, and as soon as you get settled in somewhere, that sucker would go off and you'd have to take off and go.
Yep.
Can't wait till tomorrow. It's got to be done now.
Hey, Jerry Williams from Garrett
County.
Uh-huh.
Oh boy, he's out in the mountains.
Okay. He's out in some booger country.
Yeah, no doubt.
That's one of the things when I finally get to talk to Coomba, I want to ask him about Western Maryland because I know he's been up there.
I ain't so sure he hasn't been over here in the east. He did mention.
I wouldn't be surprised either because that man is
Aberdeen Proving Grounds here is not too far from Jeff and I.
No, Aberdeen.
He's mentioned they're there too. There's some crazy land down and around there.
That's the area, Greg, that the guy that I couldn't get to come on last week I can't still get a hold of him. That was where he had his experience in the 90s.
Really?
Yeah, he's MIA. We can't get a hold of him.
Wow.
Hope everything's all right.
But Misty talking about Daniel Boone right there. Daniel Boone's a creepy place up there in Kentucky, man.
Uh-huh.
Mhm.
And Spencer and I have talked about this. The Monongahela in West Virginia. I've done some backpacking up into that place, camping and booger tacos.
Yeah.
Hammock camping.
Mm.
Ooh, you wake up in the middle of the night, you think you hear something. That Smith and Wesson is coming out of the. Of course, my hand was asleep, so I was trying to reach over my left hand and grab my 38 with them.
Not, is it not technical that you don't just say West Virginia? Ain't it West by God, Virginia?
West by God. I'd just say West by God. Yeah.
Yeah.
That area, the Monongahela is a big place and it is a dark place. You get off in there some places during the day, you barely see any light through the damn trees.
Yeah.
Wow.
I got family down there in south of Marlinton.
We camped there
It's
a
crazy.
lot. We camped there one time turkey hunting one year, and we decided that was the last time we were going in there. That place just was creepy. Josh had rocks thrown at him while he was trout fishing, and he was with me the night he was the one that was with me the night we got chased out of here, Greg, in the corner by the golf course.
Wow.
And he come back to the camp holding his rod in one hand and a Ruger P85 in the other hand. And I said, "What the hell's wrong with you?" And he's like, "You guys weren't just up the trail, were you?" I'm like, "No, we've been back here for like an hour." And he goes, "Well, I know nobody else is here. Something was just throwing rocks at me while I was fishing." I'm like,
wow.
Mhm.
And I said, "Well, what do you think?" He's like, "Well, I know bears don't have hands."
Y'all, that I was talking to me and Mark Green was talking about yesterday. We got talking about back here. I don't know. It's been probably 15 years ago, or 12, 15 anyway. The state of Alabama, they would put out it was like a magazine. It was like the outdoor, what was it? Alabama Outdoor Magazine. And it was some conjunction with the state Department of Wildlife or whatever. But they would put out a magazine, and it was a pretty dang good magazine. It had a lot of good articles in it. It's kind of like we'll call it a hillbilly version of Field and Stream. But it was from, stuff here in the state of Alabama, and it would have some really good articles. It'd be stuff about fishing, hunting, some of it be trapping, and it would have the Alabama state game laws, and it would talk about the seasons and all that. Well, there was an article in one of those state-produced magazines, and it was, I can't remember what they titled it, but what it was down here in South Alabama. It was a guy had a encounter basically with a Bigfoot, and this guy had went in the woods, and it was like him and his father, and they were on hunting club, and this guy had went in and went to his stand, and it was during bow season, and he got, basically it was almost kind of like what was the old boy up there in Arkansas, Mike Woolley.
Yeah.
Was
that Arkansas?
Yeah. All right. Well, look, it was about like Mike Woolley's encounters.
Have you ever heard Mike Woolley's encounter, Jerry?
Who's that?
Mike Woolley. He was on Sasquatch Chronicles.
I don't think so.
Mike was the guy that was in the deer stand, Mike Woolley, and the booger came in and was looking up at him and screaming at him, everything else. Well,
yes.
Mike Woolley come down and jumped and hit the ground and took off running. And the thing was in the wood line, like paralleling him running. And he got to his truck and got in and sped away. Well, when he sped away, there was another one. There was two of them come out in the road. He could see them like in the mirror. But anyway, this old boy was several hundred yards, the guy I'm talking about in Alabama, He was several hundred yards from the truck. Well, he got out of the stand, took off running, and this booger got to chasing him. Well, the part that they omitted out of that story that they didn't tell people, and Tal Bronco, Mr. Bill White from Arkansas, Bill went down and interviewed this guy. He actually talked to him. And Bill was telling me about the guy's encounter. And Bill said that the part that the guy that wrote the article, that they didn't put in that because they were talking about, at that time, it was illegal in the state of Alabama, like during bow season, to possess a firearm on your person. What they omitted out of that story was that guy, as he's running through the woods, not only did he have his bow, but according to Bill White, the man had a Ruger 9mm semi-automatic. And as this boy's running, he is running and like pointing this pistol behind him and boom, 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 boom. And then he'd haul butt running some more. And this thing's still coming and he's sticking it around, boom, 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 boom. And the boy emptied like 2 magazines, 2 complete, like
9mm.
like 15, 16 rounds a piece. This guy's hauling ass running and he's turning and shooting, boom, 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 boom. And this thing is still chasing him. And it chases him all the way to the damn truck. But they omitted that part out of that magazine article, that this guy was armed with a handgun and was absolutely shooting at this thing, and it was still chasing him.
Imagine that.
That takes some dedication. You get 2 mags dumped at you.
Yeah. Well, I mean, here's the thing. That ought to tell anybody that wasn't some dude in a gorilla suit trying to scare somebody.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You ain't kidding on that one. Because the first time that gun went off, the guy in the gorilla suit would have heading the other direction.
Yeah. But yeah, I just thought it was pretty interesting that, that they put that article in that magazine. And I can't remember. Me and Mark talked about it, and he couldn't remember what the name of the article. It was like stalked in Dallas County or Hunter stalked. And I think it was Dallas County is what I'm thinking. I can't remember for sure. Mm-hmm. If I can find that article on the internet, if nothing else, I'll try to find it and put a link to it on our Woodwalker page.
Yeah.
And that way people could look at it and read it for themselves. And it was a really, really pretty hair-raising encounter. I mean, it was pretty drastic. And it wound on that what I got some more background story to it also through Mr. White, through Bill. That hunting club, there were several members in that club over the years that had a lot of encounters with these things. I mean, there had been other members of that hunting club that had got basically kind of treed in like shooting houses, in the elevated platform stands.
Yeah.
They had got, like, these things would come in the field, and really they kind of did them a lot the way they've done me over the years. But yeah, they were dealing with some kind of like what I was that were really belligerent.
That's interesting. They put that in the magazine, though. Even though they omitted, some pretty key stuff there, but
yeah,
that's interesting. Wow.
Now, Greg,
I
how
remember
far
the
is
story
that from where you live?
It would have probably been, Jeff, I'm guessing 150, 200 miles due south.
And it's in Alabama.
Yeah, it was, best I can remember, it was really close to Selma, Alabama. I think it was down there on the river, I don't know if it was like the Tennessee Tom Bigby Waterway or the Alabama River. I'm not real sure, but I know it was down there somewhere close to the river.
Are there any hunting leases or anything down near you that you've ever heard anything about going on there?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. A buddy of mine hit me up a couple of years ago. He said, man, said, I know if you don't talk about it, but said, look, said, I'd heard, you'd had some encounters. I said, yeah. I said, sure have. I kind of grew up with someone, but I kind of lost touch with him because he'd moved off. But he lives about 25 miles from here. And I got to tell him about it. He said, well, look, said my son and one of his buddies has leased some land over there pretty close to where your place is. I said, okay. He said, well, look, said something's been messing with them. So what are you talking about? He said, well, look, said something scared the piss out of him over in the woods. Said it come up and got screaming and roaring, beating on trees. And said it either threw a big old rock or it threw a big old piece of a dead tree. It said it come crashing through the tree limbs and went across right in front of their truck and hit the ground. He said, man, it's got them spooked bad. I said, well, where are they hunting at? And the boy told me where they're hunting. Look, the first Bigfoot that when I finally laid eyes on one, I'm talking about when I finally saw one.
Mhm.
The land that these boys have leased, the road that goes into the parcel of land that they leased is within 100 feet of where I saw the first one go across the highway. And they have to go, they turn in within 100 feet of where I saw that one run across the road. They turn in and go across a 40-acre section, and then it hits the 200-something acres they leased. So they had an encounter less than say a quarter of a mile from where the first one I saw across the road. I said, dude, look, if that's where they're hunting, I can tell you what it is. What? I said, it's a dadgum Bigfoot.
Yeah. You laid eyes on it. Yeah.
Yeah. I told him, I said, look, dude, I saw it across the road.
The one when you called Bill White, wasn't it?
Yeah, I was sitting in the road. I mean, I had stopped in my truck and rolled the window down, and I'm looking, and as I'm hitting, to call Bill White, and I'm on the phone with Bill, and I had to apologize to Bill later. I said, look, dude, I can't believe I was even making sense. He said, well, you were pretty tore up. I said, oh, yeah, I was pretty tore up. I said, because this was, like 9 years of all this crap going on, that it finally come up to head and exploded because I finally saw one. And, but yeah, I was on the phone with Bill White while I was in the truck. It hadn't been, there's no way you could have counted to 60 Mississippi before I was on the phone with Bill. I just saw it.
Yeah, I didn't even know about until I started talking to you guys. I didn't even know about Bill.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
It was just.
I wish you could still get his book. I'd love to get his book, but I guess it's.
You can get
can't
it
get the
on.
book now.
I got it on Amazon.
Yeah.
Or Kindle.
I like
think
an
I got
actual
it on
book in
Kindle.
my hand.
Yeah. See that? I wish.
I got it on Kindle. I got to finish reading it. I keep forgetting to finish reading it, and I need to.
Well, see, I wish I'd went ahead and got a couple of extra copies of it because, like, for my kids and for my nieces and nephews and stuff, because I've got one copy. I got one copy that Bill himself brought it to my house, and he autographed the inside, and he says to my kind and noble friends, Jimmy and Greg House, thanks for your contribution to my book. And that's what he wrote on the inside cover because he's got some of my stories and some of my dad's stories in the book. But I've just got that one copy. And look, that copy is in my vault room in my gun safe, one of my gun safes. That's where that book stays.
That's right. Yeah, that's cool. That's an heirloom, really. You stop and think about it. Cool.
Yeah.
I skipped my audio recorder ready. Not for tonight. It's too stormy tonight. But get yours out recently, Jeff.
I haven't had.
No.
I still haven't checked it from the last time I set it out. But that was over here. I want to take one and drop it off up in the peninsula. And
he's obsessed, man. I'm telling you, when Jeff gets obsessed with something,
once you get up in that place, man, and after the stories after what Mikey's found up there, and he's seen those two quadrupedal going through the forest there. That's how they get around without no one seeing them.
Yeah,
sure. No one notices them, except for the couple stories I've heard about the one. There was one. We'll just say employee of the state spotted one on two legs walk out, and he's retired now, and he don't talk to anybody about it.
You know, I was looking here at the chat. Patrick Noble's talking about he's from Hinton. I don't know. Is that West Virginia?
Yep. Well, Hinton, West Virginia. Yep.
Please tell me, Patrick, please tell me that you're kin to Jessica White, the dancing outlaw. Patrick, can you dance like the dancing outlaw? Y'all know who I'm talking about.
Oh, Jessica White? Yeah.
Yes.
I know who you're talking about.
Well, you know how cool it would be if Patrick Noble comes out and he's kin to Jessica White.
Yeah, he's a little further west. My family's down around Rennick area. Rennick, what's that?
Patrick, you let me know.
Lewisburg.
Well, Greg, my side of the family, well, my mom's side's from right here, but my dad's side is actually from out in Fair Hill, which is close to the peninsula. And Dad said he always felt weird about going up around that area, especially that point where we saw the deer. I've also heard a couple other people here recently. One of my neighbors had a guy doing some work for him, and there's a couple of areas around there where he said, "Oh yeah, the neighbors see stuff all the time, and they just don't say anything about it."
Yeah.
So there's more stuff around here than people want to talk about. Hell, my guy up here, right across the line in PA, that does field work for us, when he moved back into one of the family farmhouses back in 2020, every night they'd hear bangs and whoops and screams and stuff coming from the creek bed right behind the farm, like where the buildings and everything were down in there. And the way that runs through there, it's so deep, those things could travel up through there and nobody'd ever see them.
Yep.
And there's a couple other things I've heard from around here. Nobody that's really going to come on and talk about it, but there's, even over on the Baltimore County line heading towards Carroll County, I've heard some stuff. There's more going on here than people, finding deer in trees, and that's one of the things that always perplexed me. Like, I know we get cougars in this area once in a while, but how often are we going to have something carrying a deer up into a tree or a tree stand? And most of the time, the carcass is completely stripped of the meat for the most part.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
Cool. They got me a West Virginia connection.
Too, Greg? Anything you ever find in trees? I know you said Troy had mentioned that before.
Yeah. I hadn't, but now I'll tell you what, there was a guy up here. He told me right at the top of the hill. I'm talking about where you turn to go into where I used to hunt and have all them encounters. And like I said, it wasn't but about a mile, just a little over a mile down that government road. A guy that lived up here on the corner, he had a small cattle farm. There's about 60-something acres, and he had, 15, 18 head of cattle. But a younger guy he was older than me, but the guy that owned the property was pretty old. This younger dude was helping the man out with his cows and on the farm, and the guy was letting him hunt around part of his property. And that old boy asked me, which I used to work with this guy, he asked me one day a few years ago, he said, "Did you ever see anything weird down there, Bo? What's the name farm?" I just looked at him. I said, yeah, I sure did. Why? He said, "Man, I heard some stuff down there in them woods. I don't know what in the hell it was." I said, yeah, I know what it was. He said, "Man," said, "they did some weird stuff." Said the cows every now and then act crazy. He said, "But I seen something the other day I can't explain." I said, "What?" "Well, we got these trees down here that we call a cow cumber, like COW Cumber, like cucumber, but with cap. And it's
Yeah.
what it is. It's basically, it's like a wild form of magnolia. Got big old
Yeah.
giant leaves. I mean, humongous leaves. Leaves would be like 2 feet long and a foot wide. And the things will grow. It won't be like a big tree. It'll be like a big stump, and they'll be growing out, like a bunch of things branch off of it, and they'll get big. Well, this boy told me that they had a cow that was fixing to have a calf, and said that every evening they would call it up to the barn and make sure, kind of keep eye on it. Well, he got to calling cows. Well, that one didn't come up. Well, he thought, well, she's got off down here and had that calf. We got to looking for her. Well, he said he got down there in the edge of the woods in that field, and he said where one of those trees was split off from the ground and went up. There was some, like that big around, branched up tight together. He said that full-grown cow was like it had jumped and come down in the V of those trees, and said it was stuck. And he said the whole back of that cow was ripped out, and the calf was gone. They never found any part of the calf. But he said it wasn't like something had been chewing on that cow. It was like it just ripped it open and stole the calf out. But it was the whole big cow was wedged in that fork of that tree. And the way he talked, it was, its legs wasn't even on the ground. It wasn't like way up in the tree, but it was off the ground.
Something pulled the calf out of it.
That's what he said. So yeah, that kind of creeped me out pretty bad.
Well, coming from somebody that delivers those things on a regular basis, did he say if it was like the rear end was tore up or if it was?
I didn't ask him. I see that old boy every now and then. I think I'll pin him down because it's been several years.
So she was dead when they found her then?
Yeah, the cow was dead. Yep.
Good God.
But the back of that guy's field where he was talking about that calf, it would have been probably 3/4 of a mile to where I used to hunt, just through the woods. It wasn't nothing but woods.
That's got to be one of the weirder ones that I've definitely heard.
Mm-hmm.
That's gonna perplex me for.
Oh, look out! He's perplexed.
No doubt.
Hey, I delivered. I had one that was calving when I came in tonight, and I'll have to take care of it in the morning. It'll be dried off, and Mom will be licking it. But I've pulled a lot of. We had another one calve today, and I pulled a lot of calves. But now that right there is strange.
Oh yeah. But guys, I've never
that happened.
Like talking about the little green men type stuff. I've never seen anything, nothing. I've never even seen an orb. Everybody's like, man, if you're having all this Bigfoot activity, you got to have orbs. Well, y'all ain't down there looking for the damn things.
Right.
I've never seen none. Really don't want to see none.
Nope. Never seen that either. Of course, I ain't looking for it either. But no.
Mm-mm. No.
Eye shine's creepy. Yeah, eye shine will get your attention right now.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it ain't deer. It's very obvious.
I have not seen anything weird. The only wide eye shine I see is my livestock. That's
that would like me, y'all. I mean, the ones that I've saw the eye shine of it's been like a real deep orangey red.
Okay.
Yep. And it wasn't, hey, I saw eye shine and I bet that was a booger. It's like, oh, hell, look at that booger. Oh, shit. Now I see his eyes. I mean, it was like damn. But yeah, they've been not just a vibrant red, but a real deep orange, kind of like a blood orange, maybe.
Huh. Yeah, like I was on a show with you guys, it was a pale yellow, but it was definitely wider apart, forward facing. And like I said, they were stared at me the whole time straight down. And when they disappeared, it was down behind a guardrail, and the bankway actually dropped off from the roadway there because it goes down to Deer Creek there, or Broad Creek. I'm sorry.
Wow.
So yeah, it wasn't a deer. I see deer all the time for years. It wasn't a deer. So,
Yeah, Misty posting the several huge, fast-moving shadows behind the tree line. Yeah, we saw
yeah,
that right here. Me and her at Coonbo.
yeah, I remember that. Yeah, you talking about it.
There's
Yeah, it's
been
crazy.
times around here where I've thought I've caught stuff out of the corner of my eye and I just couldn't track it fast enough.
Jeff, that look, it's amazing how these things move. I mean, it's somebody that's never seen one move, the speed and the way they move. I'm telling you, I can't describe it and put it in words to make it. I mean, I can't describe it. Not where anybody would ever think that it wasn't just a bunch of bullshit. Because I'm telling you, there's nothing that I could even compare it to the way I've seen them move. And I mean, that's what's mind-boggling.
Yeah, don't blink.
Yeah,
That's crazy. Wow.
yeah,
It's one of those things where you try to track it and it's just gone, and I'm like, what? And there's been times I've been sitting back here and like we've talked before, Greg, you feel like something's looking at you.
oh yeah,
And I've had that several times. There's been a couple times I got out of stand and went back to the barn.
yeah,
There have been times I've pulled into certain places in the back past where I got ran out of. And the weird thing about that spot is ever since before and after that, I have never felt weird in that part of the farm.
yeah,
Now you go onto this piece back here that we lease that's connected to the property that runs up on the ridge. That's a completely different story.
yeah.
Even Josh, he don't like being out there after dark, especially if we got tracked something. It's usually a couple of us that go up in there. But
Well,
we found a spot in the corn one time that something left a trail that was about 3 feet wide. And we were trailing a deer, and I said, I really don't want to go up into this.
yeah,
You
man.
ever found tracks you ever found spots in the crops where the trail was 3 feet wide?
We don't have that many crops here, Jeff.
Well, I know you guys plant some stuff out in the fields. And
Yeah,
stuff.
we do, but we don't have a whole lot. I mean, we don't really. There's hardly any big farms here. I mean, very
It looked like somebody drove a 4-wheeler through the middle of the cornfield.
really.
And and nobody around here would have the balls to do that, especially on something that we lease, because I'd have their ass.
Yeah, I'm sure. Yeah,
We tracked through there, and every single one of us had a gun, and we don't normally carry guns a whole lot when we're tracking in certain parts of the property, just in case we end up on the neighbors, But we'll carry something if we think there's a need for it. But
Misty over there. Yeah, me and Mark Noble kept an eye on Misty. She's talking about her. She wanders. She gets that one night we was at Coonbo. She kept wandering, and I was like, I'd look over and whisper to Mark Noble. I was like, "How far is she going?" He said, "He go. I don't know, but I'm watching her." I'm like, "Well, hell, I'm watching her too, but damn, I don't want to see her get snatched right in front of us." He's like, "Let me go corral her back." He'd go get her and bring her back. And Misty was, I'll give her this. Look, she come up with that on her own. I know. And and people don't realize, they really don't. They think Misty's just out here for eye candy. Look, that girl ain't scared of shit except spiders. But I mean, she had walked off, and what she done, she got her back to us, and she was going out in the woods. And what she told us later, she was absolutely making, because she's got a relative or something that's deaf, and she can do sign language. She was making generalized motions. She was experimenting with sign language, hoping that maybe some of the signs she was making that, would elicit a response from these things.
Yeah.
But
Sometimes I'm a little too curious for my own good too.
mm,
I might fall in that category with Misty and Robbie Rains.
yeah,
I've heard stories about Robbie taking off after stuff.
yeah, I mean, I know people think that I go overboard about warning folks, but
Yeah.
them folks ain't been through the shit that I've been through with these things. I mean, they look, when you have something that has come around you and then it's left or made you think it left. Well, let's put it that way. That one absolutely made me think it left. And it did, at least 150 yards. It had come around my stand. I couldn't see it. This thing it probably came within 45, 50 feet. I mean, it was closer than 20 yards, but it was in a thicket. It'd be like me trying to look through that wall behind me. Walked bipedal. I heard it coming from 150, 200 yards. It comes straight up behind me. Before it ever got there, I done took and stood up. And I had put my knee, it was one of those 2-man metal ladder stands, the buddy stands. Had the cushion to sit on. I had done eased and stood up and got my rifle. And I put my knee in the seat, had one foot on the platform, and I was leaning. I had my shoulder against the tree that the stand was on, and I had my rifle just like pointed down, and I was propped against the tree. And I was looking. And that thing was coming straight at me, and it was just walking. It walked bipedal, crunch, 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 and it was stopped. And then it crunch, 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 and it's heavy. Y'all, I mean, it's breaking limbs. This thing's heavy. And it's just pushing its way through this growed up, just a thicket, just an old cut over that had grown up all volunteer. And it's just like a wall of just vines and sticks and bushes. And that thing walked directly behind me. And then it went to my left and it went around my stand. And then it went like the edge of the field that I was on. It went down the edge. And this thing was probably 10, 12 feet out of the field, just into the growed up shit. And it went to the far end of the corner of that field where the field went down and cornered and went back, like down this way. And it turned and went to my left to go around the field. Well, that thing went around the corner. And like I've told everybody, I could see these pine saplings and these other saplings. And not only could I tell where it was at listening to it, break limbs and walk, I could see the tops, all the tops of those saplings, because I'm looking out across them. And I could see the things pull apart and then they'd whip back. Like when that thing, like in my mind, I'm thinking, okay, it's shoving its arms out and pushing this stuff and stepping through it. And I could see it just go back. Well, it goes around the corner and it turns, it's going up that other side. Well, the wind is blowing like this way and it's blowing. The wind wasn't in, to start with, it wasn't in my favor or its favor. Like I'm here and it's where y'all, like me looking at the computer, the wind's going this way. Well, when that thing goes down here and turns and comes up that side, the wind is it's going toward where it's going. It's going into where the wind downwind to me.
Uh-huh.
And when that thing got over there, a part of the way down that side, that's when it stopped. It started huffing, it started grunting, started growling and grumbling. And I thought, oh shit, it knows I'm here 100%. It's winded me. And that thing stayed right there for several minutes. And it would just grumble. And y'all, I'm talking about deep. I can't do it justice. It's doing all this stuff. And I'm thinking, okay, what's it going to do? What's it going to do? What is this thing going to do? And look, I've done turned and I've got my knee still in the seat, but I've kind of got my foot up there and I'm kind of sitting down on my boot and I'm just propped watching across this field. The thing starts walking. It's like it turned around and it's like I'm watching everything it's done unfolded in reverse. It's going through this thicket. It's going right the same way it just went. And I'm seeing the saplings pull apart and they'll spring back up and it's going right around. And that thing goes around that corner. And guess what? It's coming back toward me now. It comes right up there, like right where it just went. And it kind of just kind of like a half circle. It comes around my stand again, same spot. And right where it came in from, it turns and that thing goes dead away from me. It goes dead away the same path it come in on. And y'all, it was getting dark. I mean, by then, you know, I've been dealing with this thing for over 30 minutes, way over 30 minutes. That thing goes out of hearing, or well, I thought out of hearing. It, you know, it got quiet. It's further and further off the way I heard it come in. And I'm thinking, God dang, it's fixing to be dark. I've got to get out of here. I need to be down. You know, it's 75, 80 yards across the field and then 200 yards to the truck. So, you know, I don't like a lot being 300 yards from the truck. I got to get out of here because it's fixing to be dark. I mean, it's done out in this thicket. I can't see anyway, but now it's getting, sure enough, dark in the thicket, but out in the field, I can still see across the field pretty good. Y'all, I'm like, I got to get down. I've got to come out of here. And I would always, like I said, I hunt with that Browning semi-automatic rifle. I'd always grab the bolt, pull it back, and lock it. And I'd catch the shell that was in the chamber, and I'd get it. And I got a little shell holder on the side. I'd either put that shell in my pocket or stick it in that. And I'd tie it on a rope and lower my rifle with it unloaded and let it just hang off the ground. And I'd climb down, untie my rifle, and I'd just ease the shell back in it and then walk to the truck. Well, I could not make myself unload that rifle, tie my rifle to that tree stand. Could not do it because I'm thinking, if I start down this tree and that thing is something out here tries to grab me, if I got to run, my damn rifle's tied to the tree or tied to this stand. No. No. Y'all, I might double check, triple check, whatever. You know, I'm gun safety is ingrained in me. I'm always checking my gun, making sure it's on safe. But I held that rifle in my right hand, held it right behind the trigger guard, my finger out of the trigger. And I turned around and got on that ladder and came down and climbed ever so slowly, trying not to make the ladder squeak, make any racket, nothing. And I climbed all the way to the ground. And when I got to the ground, this is a 15-foot tall stand. When I got down to the ground on the last metal step, the next step was going to be me on the ground. That's when it dawned on me that I hadn't had time to clean the little path from a tree stand to the green grass. Every year I would take one of those big heavy duty, what we call a cement rake, and I would rake a little path about this wide clean where it would just be bare dirt and all the leaves would be out of it. And it was about 20 feet from the grass to the stand bottom. Well, I'd been busy that fall and I didn't do it. Well, when I hit that last step, I thought, oh shit, when I step down, the best I can do, I'm going to make noise in these dry leaves because it was hardwood leaves.
Yep. And hardwood leaves are not quiet, Greg.
No. I mean, it's like just crunching. Well, y'all, I stood there. And look, mind you, I'm on this ladder. I'm hanging on to a rung and I've got my rifle up. I'm standing, you know, this far off the ground. The last place that I've heard this booger is like I'm looking through the rungs of the ladder at the tree that my stand, you know, is leaning on this tree. I'm looking right at the trunk of this tree, and that's the way the booger was. That's the way he come in from. That's the way he left. Well, I'm sitting there being super quiet, and I'm trying to hold my breath and listen. Okay, I can't hear nothing. I got to get out of here because, you know, time is clicking down. It's fixing to be dark. And y'all, when I stepped off of that, trying to do it as gently as I could and as quietly as I could, when my boot hit those leaves and it just crunched a little, right where I heard that thing the last time, it sounded like you had rolled a full-size automobile off a mountain through that thicket. No motor noise, of course, but it's just like the whole world explodes. There's saplings breaking, leaves are crunching, shit's crashing, and it's coming at me. I'm talking about boom, 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 just crunch. And this thing is running. And it's running straight to where I'm at. Y'all, I whirled and took off running out in this field. I run 20 or so feet out into the grass, and I run about 20, 25 yards, I guess, out in the field. And with me running, I can hear this thing coming. and it's catching me quickly. Y'all, I plant my left foot and I turn and I come around and I come up with my rifle. And when I level that Browning rifle down, that thing just stops. I'm talking about just like slams on brakes. As soon as that rifle come up, that thing didn't take another step. It's like it just screeched to a halt. Y'all, I could not see it because in there where my stand was, I could not see even the stand, and I couldn't see the tree it was on because it was just black in there. But that damn thing runs straight to the tree that my stand was on. That thing starts huffing, it starts grunting, it starts growling, it's stomping the ground, and it would pace back and forth because it was, I could see the limbs and the stuff just shaking and jerking.
Yeah.
This thing is throwing, I mean, like a temper tantrum. It ran straight to my stand, and I'm out here in this field, and I've got my rifle up, safety's flipped off, fingers curled in, just touching the trigger. And I'm kind of like looking above the scope, and I'd look through the scope and back above it and back and forth. And I'm looking around me in this field because I'm out in the open. There's no way nothing can get out there to me that I can't see it. You know, I'm in this open field about 1.5 acres, nearly 2 acres. So I know that at least if I'm out here, it's got to expose itself to get to me. Well, y'all, that thing, it would huff and it would growl and it would grunt and mumble. And it made me think of King Kong because it sounded like somebody had a big bass drum, and it'd go blah, 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 blah. Blah, 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 blah. Blah, 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 blah. And then it would stomp. And y'all, when that thing come running up there, about the time that I whirled around and started bringing that rifle up, when that thing's feet was hitting the ground, at that distance, the ground was shaking where I was standing. I could feel that thing's feet impact. I know you being in the field, if you have a cow or a horse run by you pretty close, you know how it shakes the ground?
Uh-huh.
This thing did that from over 20 yards. I'm talking about 60, 70 feet. This thing is shaking the ground. It's hitting the ground so hard where I'm at. I could feel the impact when its feet would hit. That's how big. I couldn't see it, but it's right there. It's right here. Y'all, I ain't never wanted to be somewhere else so bad in my life because I'm there by myself. I went hunting that evening by myself.
Yeah, you didn't even have Al with you that night.
No, I was by myself. Now I had that 686 combat revolver under my shoulder right here, that 357 Magnum, and I had that Browning semi-automatic 30-06 in my hands. And y'all, I'm backing up and I'm backing up and I'm trying to get a little more distance. And I'm backing across this field and I'm getting toward the road that goes out. You know, that thing's over here and I got to be over there. And my head's on a swivel and I'm watching and looking and I'm thinking, okay, is it going to step out? What's going to happen? And I back up and back up and back up. And about the time I get to where, like I said, just think of just a wall with like a hallway door or opening to go out 200 yards from my truck. About the time I get to that, I'm thinking, okay, has this thing got my attention? Is there another one? Is it going to jump out? What's going to happen? I realized that thing ain't right there at my stand no more. Where I'm looking across the field, it's moving, going around. It's going around the way it did when it got downwind of me. It's going across. And here's the thing. I go, oh, shit. It's going to go around that field, and it's going to come through the thicket and head me off before I get to the truck. Y'all, I mean, I've done got my rifle. I flip the safety back on, finger straight. I whirl around and just point my rifle down, and I've turned, and I break running. I mean, I've got my rifle sucked up against my chest, and I tear out running down this road, and it's some old big rocks about big as my fist, big limestone. Y'all, I ran down that road as hard as I could go. Over my right shoulder, coming. I could hear that thing plowing through that thicket coming. And it's gaining. It's gaining ground fast. When I got to where my truck was parked, that's where I had that opening. It was about, I don't know, say a 35, 40 foot, just a circle across inside the gate which we never did wind up parking in it, but I'd pushed out enough room you could have parked 3 vehicles pretty easy. When I crossed that little opening and I got to the gate post, and this was a 16-foot cattle gate, round pipe cattle gate, I ran around that post, and when I got between the hood of my truck, between the bumper and that gate, about 3 foot, just as I rounded that post, I pulled that rifle around and leveled it down again across that opening where I just ran across. That damn booger was on the other side of that opening. He couldn't have been 4 or 5 feet in the thicket, and he had done caught me. I'd went 200 yards in a wide open road. That thing had come probably, it would have been 400 yards the way it had to run across and through and back over to where I was. 350 to 400. I went 200, and that thing was plowing through that thicket, and it caught me.
Around the outside of the field.
Yeah, and it caught me. It plowed through all them briars, all them trees, all them saplings, and me in a wide open road. But that thing caught me. By the time I got to the truck, it was at the truck. If it took me another 5 seconds, that thing could have got in that opening before I got to the opening. That's how close it was to heading me off before I got in the truck. But when I whooped that rifle up, that thing stopped. I backed around and I had on a swivel. I'm looking everywhere, and that thing's doing that huffing and grunting. It didn't beat its chest anymore, but it was like it was stomping the ground. It was like it was just back and forth, just pacing in about a 10 or 12 foot spot. And it's breaking saplings and throwing a damn fit. I ease around the front end of my truck, and I back down, and I'm still looking. I back up by the front fender, get to the door. I'm holding my rifle. And I turn loose here, and I reach down and catch the door handle. And I've still got my rifle up with one hand. And I get the door open, and I had the old hand crank windows on that old Dodge. I crank the window down, pull my rifle up, and I get my body in, and hold my rifle down. I reach out, shut the door with the rifle laying this way. And when I shut the door, the barrel was in the window. The window opening, like here's the window open, the barrel was right here. I thought, well, if you run up and try to get in this truck, you're going to run right in front of a 30-06 barrel, and I'm fixing to start going boom, 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 boom. But y'all, that thing's still right in front of my truck, less than 40 feet, 40 feet tops. It's still not happy. I cranked that truck. I dropped it in reverse and nailed it. Now, this truck I had built the engine. It was 318, but it had been bored and stroked. Had glass pack mufflers turned out on the sides. And when I dropped that thing in reverse and nailed it, I mean, I'm throwing ahead, had positive traction rear end. I was throwing 2 rooster tails coming out past the front fenders toward where that thing was. I backed up and slid it around, jerked it and drive and nailed it. I was throwing rooster tails leaving. But y'all, that day right there freaked me out horribly.
Now that was that the first one that ran you out of there?
That was the first time I'd ever been basically accosted to that point.
I know you had heard stuff prior to that.
Oh yeah. I'd been followed out and stuff thrown at me and this and that.
That was the first time you
that
thought
was the
you were
first
going
time
to
I'd ever been really bluff charged. Yeah, it was the first time. That wasn't the last, but that was damn sure the first.
Now, I don't know if I ever asked you this, but compared to that was the old place. Compared to it, how belligerent have they been at the section you hunt now?
Well, when I started hunting over where I hunt now, really hunting it hard because I couldn't hunt that other anymore. See, right before my cousin sold that part over there, that's when I accidentally made peace with him. And
that was where you and Al and Al's buddy,
yes,
who didn't believe in it,
yes,
which we can make a whole other show out of. Jerry's gonna like that one because that one's probably one of my.
I've heard all of Greg's stories.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I've even went back and rewatched some of them. So.
Y'all, I mean,
crazy.
That's
crazy what you deal with.
I'm thinking, well, he's gonna find out here real soon.
Yeah.
Y'all, that old boy come back for, I don't know, 6-7 years. He'd come back dove hunt with us.
But he wouldn't deer hunt with you.
No, hell no. It's about 8 miles from where we hunted over here to my dad's farm. And Dad would plant about 18 acres of millet, milo, and sunflowers. And we'd have a big dove hunt.
Yeah.
we'd have a massive dove hunt. And man, we'd have 25, 30 people come hunt. And I would always cook a bunch of like smoke. I may smoke 10 whole chickens or 2 turkeys or 4 Boston butts. I mean, I'd smoke, and we'd have a massive barbecue dinner because dove season don't open till noon on opening day. We'd all gang up they'd get here about 10 o'clock. We'd just hang out.
That's how it is around here. We're not supposed to shoot doves till noon.
All right. Well, what we'd do is everybody gang up and we'd all sit there and eat. We'd have a big barbecue, and then time to hunt, everybody hit the field. Well, we'd have all the food. We'd put it in coolers to keep it warm, and then the warm stuff warm and the cold stuff cold. And hell, if you got hungry over hunting, you just go back and fix you another plate or whatever. And then by that evening, we'd have still stuff to eat, for supper. Well, it was a running joke for several years. This old boy would come back, and he'd show up and bring friends. I was like, yeah, bring somebody with you if you want dove hunt. And we'd ask him, I'd say, you gonna come back deer hunt with us this year? What? You gonna come back to deer hunt with us? He was standing there one day. He had a barbecue sandwich. He looked at me. What? I said, you gonna come back deer hunt with us? Y'all know what's over in them woods, and y'all keep going back. Y'all crazy as hell. No, I ain't coming back. But now he would come over there and dove hunt because he was in the field with about 20 armed guys. He never would come back deer hunt. Never did go back with us.
Now, did you guys ever hear anything while you did the dove hunts?
Nah, never did. Nope. Mm-mm.
Just in the woods.
Yep, just over here. But now I'll tell you this. I carried Abby last Friday. Last Friday, she had Gunnersville, Alabama, which is an hour and 5-minute drive from where I'm sitting. She had a volleyball, like a volleyball camp where they went over there and learned stuff and practiced and whatever. There's a bunch of different schools, and they kind of done some scrimmage games with other schools. All right. I went and got a new tattoo because my tattoo artist guy.
Yeah, I heard you told us this the other night.
All right, yeah, I told y'all. But my tattoo artist buddy, he's over there in Gunnersville, Alabama, on the big lake Gunnersville. Well, I knew I was going to have to take Abby over there, so I called him a few days ahead. I said, "Hey, brother, I'm gonna be over in your town. If you got some ink time on Friday?" He's like, "When you want to come?" I said, "Well, when can you get me in?" He said, "I can book you from 12 to 2. I said, "That'll work great." Abby and them's got lunch from 10 to 11:45. They're not going to be done till about 5 that evening.
Did you see that, Greg? David said we need Abby for her own episode.
Oh, yeah. Hey, look, got y'all's ready. I'm telling you. All we got to do is say something. She'll come up with something. But anyway, I go over there, sit with my I carry Abby over there, watch them for a while, carry them to lunch. When I carried them back to that big gym with their coach, I took off and went and got some new ink on my leg. I got my our Woodwalkers, my interpretation of it, because it's a compass and a Bigfoot. It says Woodwalkers. I got kind of a Woodwalker logo on my leg. Well, I get back, and one of the girls that's on the team with Abby, her mother was there. And I've known her mother. She's a couple years younger than I am, but I've known her our whole lives. Well, her dad is a very respected man in the community, and her mother is too. I'm not going to tell you what to do, but let's put it like this. Her dad was an educator, a high-level educator in this county. Mother is a super great Christian lady. All right, this girl goes, "Did you go get your ink?" Because I told her before, I said, "Now look, if I'm a little late getting back after a while," I said, "just kind of keep an eye on Abby." I said, "She should be fine." She said, "What are you doing?" I told her, I said, "Well, I'm going to go get a tattoo." Well, she was kind of chuckling about it. Well, I got back and I sat on the bleachers. Well, this girl walks up. She said, "You go get your ink?" I just pointed down my leg. And she said, "Oh, man, that's cool as crap." And then the girl goes, "How long's it been since she's seen one of them?" Talking about Bigfoot. I said, "Well, about the last week of March this year." She said, "Well, I knew you'd had some encounters." I said, "Yeah." I said, "The last one I saw was like the week before the first day of April." She said, "My mom saw one of those, right?" I went, what? She said, yeah. Said, my mom saw one cross the road. I said, when? She said, well, it's been a few years ago, but, and then I said, well, where at? And she told me. I said, okay. Yeah, I've had other people right there in that area that's seen something. I said, well, what did it do? She said, well, said she was coming back from been to town or something, and said out there about 100 or so yards in front of her, she saw something big, black, and upright. Said it was huge. Now this is a two-lane paved highway, state Alabama highway, big road. She said that this thing came out of the woods or the field, and said it took 3 strides to cross 2 traffic lanes, 3 steps. And she
That's
said
pretty descriptive.
Said it crossed the road and went right into another field on the other side. I said, well, I'd never heard that. She said, well, she won't tell many people. She's afraid people would make fun of her. So that's what I told her. I was telling David and River and Jeff the other night, I said, y'all, I said, I didn't even have this ink on my leg for an hour. And that right there drummed me up an encounter. I mean, just out of the blue.
And you've got some up here too, don't you, Greg? Shoulders.
Yeah, I don't know if I can see that. I got that one. I've got that old head on my arm with a Bigfoot in it. And then I've got I know they can't probably see that one, but I've got a teepee with a hairy man in it. It's like a native teepee with smoke coming out of it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Hairy man. Now I ain't gonna get all ultra sexy on here, but I got a big one right here on my chest.
Be careful because Tipton's going to tear you apart if you do.
Look here. Hey,
We a lot of times when we see Greg on the late night chats, he's shirtless, so you get to see all of.
hey, I have to be careful. I'm trying to be fair, y'all. I mean, look, I ain't gonna be no thirst trap just by accident. Now, Tipton, what the deal with Tipton was he got some beard in. Here, Eric, got it lined up today.
I gotta go get mine shaped up soon, but we need to get Tipton on here. He'd be a good one to have.
Oh, I'm gonna dog him pretty hard. He got his that soul patch right here on his chest. He's trying to go in like Austin Powers on his chest, you know.
Have you talked to have you guys talked to Kane lately? What's he been up to?
I have not talked to Kane other than just seeing some of his videos, but I'm gonna tell you, Kane's a good one. If y'all could get Kane on, y'all, Kane spends a lot of time in the woods.
Well, he lives right there in the middle of.
Kane's doing what I do. Kane lives right where they at. But I'm gonna tell y'all something. It's bad enough that the biggest footprint we've had here was 18 inches.
He's got some that are
25, 26 inches.
That's crazy. That's insane.
Y'all know.
Wow.
This old fat boy right here ain't got no business in the woods.
We got 20 inches up near the peninsula, and that is.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't care nothing about none of that. No.
You're talking 26 inches. You're getting into a different territory there.
I don't know. I don't have nothing. No, you're talking about something that by the way what I've seen in the size footprints.
That's almost like a stone giant, or
yeah. I mean, we're talking about something that's probably 14 foot plus, 14 feet. I've seen them 9 foot. I can't imagine.
Misty's over here giving us. She said, don't be giving away all the goods on.
I ain't giving away no goods. Come on. We should have had her come on here with us.
We'll get her on here one night.
But no, y'all, they need to. Yeah, I can't be giving away my damn sexy picture. Y'all just have to look. So I got this Bigfoot on my shirt. I got one right here from about here to here. And it ain't quite as big.
Yeah, I've seen that one.
Yeah, but it's like it's hanging onto a tree, stepping out in the field, looking across bunch of trees and stuff. Yeah, I can't, like Misty. I mean, if y'all see a foot pic, y'all was $4.99.
dog here has been driving me nuts. He's been sitting on my bear looking out the window. He
Hey,
told you that one night.
if I had a OnlyFans, it'd have to put an L in there. It'd be lonely, severely lonely fans.
Greg, I told you that this dog lately, he normally takes off, but he's pretty good about not getting too far away from things anymore.
Yeah. Hey, on that OnlyFans, I thought about doing a thing. It'd be like a reverse OnlyFans. I could send some of these folks them a picture, like my tattoo in my chest and all, and I tell them, look, you just send me $4.99, or I'm gonna send some more of these.
There you go.
Yeah, look here, if you don't want none, you better pay up. You never know when that picture gonna pop up in there.
You know, when I got married to my first wife, which that's over with, but anyway, my friends, you'd love this, Greg, and I'm sure some of my family saved them. You know, you ever seen the naked trucker mud flaps?
Oh yeah.
If you look at an outline of that guy, he could be me with the beard and the. Everybody always joked and said that they patterned that after me.
No doubt.
And some of my family members still have those those magnets that said the game's over.
What you need to do, Jeff, you need to get you one of those marking pens that's actual paint, and just when they got one of them, just go sign it for them. Autograph it.
Well, my midget friend Andy, he was riding around on a scooter at the wedding, slapping them on people's bumper stickers. He was slapping on people's cars while they were in the wedding. He had a big box in the front of his scooter. I said, "What are you doing with that?" And he said, "Don't worry about it." Later on, people were at church the next morning with these big.
So you legitimately got a little person for a friend?
Oh yeah.
Oh my God.
He's a Republican. He's got he's got his own custom built AR that's probably got about an 11-inch barrel on it, maybe shorter.
Really?
And he's not somebody that you guys no one wants to mess with.
No doubt.
We go to the city to concerts. He's got a 380 in the glove box, and he'll.
You say what Misty said? Misty said, "Jeff, you've been stripping for Diesel." Yeah, Jeff out there going.
It's so expensive at this point. We might have to.
Yes.
Yeah, really.
Look at
there.
that.
D.A. been here.
D.A. Roberts has appeared in the chat.
Yes. Man.
One night we'll have to get Jerry to turn us on because he'll probably go to sleep. But we'll have to do we'll have to do one of those marathons.
No doubt.
You're already pushing 3 hours almost.
I told you if House gets on here, it's a minimum of.
Man, you
I
gotta
got enough time.
Gotta have somebody to talk to.
Well, the
Yeah,
thing
man.
about you is we could have you on for 6 episodes and not touch everything that you've even had, man.
And here's the thing: I look back on it of things that I've had happen. That'd be like me telling y'all to say, "Hey, tell me about the time you went and bought some diesel fuel, and they didn't charge you right or something." It's like all this stuff goes to running together over all these years.
Yeah.
There we go. Noble, yes. Patrick Noble, only fan Bigfoot page. Oh man.
I'll tell you, I definitely found my people when I got into this bunch.
Oh, dude. Look, when I tell you that it's a tribe, dude, we like a tribe. But everybody that's in this chat right here and the folks that follow us, it's the greatest group of people ever because we can get by without all the drama and the hoopla and everybody wanting to tear everybody down. And it's just A lot of these other folks, man, they just thrive. It's like watching WWE wrestling. It's like, let's say who we have mad at who, or it's like a soap opera.
And why? You know why that stuff gets on my nerves.
Yeah, and there's people
There's no room for
I
it.
love watching, and then you got other people that are tearing them down. It's like, why are you
Right.
Well, y'all,
why are you doing that, man?
here's my deal. I mean, there's people in this right here that's in this that believe they're total flesh and blood, and then there's people that's in here that believe that they're extraterrestrial.
Yep.
There's people in here like me that I believe. I mean, I'll tell anybody, I believe they're flesh and blood, but can they do?
They've got other
abilities. Now, to me, in my heart, from what I've witnessed, what I've done, and the reaction I got, I still think there's something spiritual about them. I think they've got some type of spiritual power that cannot be explained in just.
But they're not indestructible.
No. No, I don't believe they're indestructible. I do not.
Because if they were indestructible, they wouldn't be stopping when you turned around and pointed a 30-06 at them.
You're correct.
Because that right there is something that don't play.
Well, my deal, and that's what I try to tell people. Somebody might make a statement that I'm not in agreement with. But I don't know everything about these, even as many encounters as I've had. There's a hell of a lot I don't know. I mean, there's a lot I don't know. And look, somebody may have an experience, a legitimate, full-fledged experience right there in their face. And the way these things interact with them at that time may be totally different the way they interact with you or Jerry or me or whoever. So their perspective on it is 180 degrees from what mine is. Mine may be 90 degrees off of yours, and it may be 65 degrees off of Jerry's. You can't say, like me, I can't say, well, look, here they are, this is what they are, this is what they're going to do, blah, 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 blah. All I can tell y'all is what I've seen and what I've lived through, and this is my dealings with these things. This is how my encounters has went. Now, if I hear somebody that's had a total different encounter, I'm not going, oh, that's bullshit. They don't do that, blah, 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 blah. No. Let's take this guy on this. Let's take him. I'm trying to read him, his body language, his speech, how credible he is, what does he do in life, and this and that, what kind of person this is. I'm trying to get the whole ball of wax and roll it around and look at it through and through behind, in front of a light, and let's see how credible this guy is.
You don't have to be the guy that saw one. You could be the guy like me that's had them screaming at you from 40 yards, and you don't, or you hear something, or you notice something in the woods that.
Look, I mean, I know both of y'all and probably a lot of these people in chat have heard me talk about the motorcycle incident. Look, I didn't see that one that day. I mean, I was within 100 feet of it. I could see right where it was. I could see it pulling a damn dogwood tree. Looked like he's going to uproot a dogwood tree, the trunk that big around. He was swaying that tree back and forth and jerking it and breaking limbs and growling and screaming. And when he'd do that bellow roar, scream, howl, y'all, I'm not kidding you. Look, I don't care anybody on the planet. If they'd been in my shoes and heard what I heard, just to realize that this is an animal. This is something, flesh, blood, meat, bone, whatever the hell this, it's not a mechanical. It's not a damn air horn or a damn siren, mechanical, electrical, whatever. This is something, an entity, we'll say entity, that's making this noise. And this sound coming out of this thing is so loud. I am not kidding you. If you were standing with your hands on the front push bar of a locomotive and they laid the horns down, it wouldn't have been, that train wouldn't be any louder than what that thing was. It was
that's what it felt like when Josh got right there.
If y'all could see my arms right now when I go to talking about this, I go reliving it. My arms break out and chill bumps from head to toe. My hair stands up. That thing, and that it didn't do it the whole time because it started out that. and then it would just bow at the end. It was like a whip crack. And y'all, look, that thing would go like 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi, 3 Mississippi, 4. You could have counted probably 15, 16 Mississippi from the time it started, and maybe longer. Maybe longer. It's like, hell, it ain't gonna quit. Oh my God, when's it gonna stop? And it just kept just rising and rising and rising and rising.
Yeah, just like
And
you pissed it
didn't.
off, and now it's
Yeah, but look, it didn't do it. Now look, the whole time it's loud. I mean, it's loud. But like from about the middle way of the pitch rise to the end was when it got unbearable loud. But there was a spot in the middle when, honest to God, my vision would blur. It was like you were taking binoculars and pulling them out of focus. It was like my eyes would blur and then they would clear back up toward the end. But there would be a spot like it was hitting a certain tone. Then it was vibrating so hard, my vision, my eyes would blur, and then it would clear back up, and then it would finish off. Y'all, look, I don't give a damn who you are. Show me an animal, a known animal that's that loud when it screams, that at 100 feet, you take a 250-pound man, pretty damn healthy, and this thing is so loud. Not only is it hurting your ears that you want to cover your ears, but it makes your vision blur from the vibration of the noise at 100 feet away. That I lived through that, y'all. I lived that right over here about 1.25 miles through the woods. And look, even though I couldn't see it, y'all, I had to look. I need to be somewhere different. I'm about to die. And y'all, I thought if this thing goes to leave, because a lot of times when they would leave, they would go toward the river when they left. That's what put me in such a panic that day, was because that thing's in front of me and the river is straight behind me. And oh my God, if it steps out, it's done worked itself up. And y'all, I swear, it was like it was working itself up into a frenzy. Like it was just throwing a temper tantrum and just like, oh, well, damn it, grumbling. And well, you look here, and it's just getting worse and worse and worse and worse. And I done come to terms, I'm fixing to be the guy that's going to have to try to kill one of these things, or either it's going to tear me limb from limb right here. I mean, I'm fixing to be the dude. I can't lose my cool. Okay, I mean, in my mind, it's rolling, and I'm making a game plan. Okay, if it busts out, odds are when it don't, I've come to the conclusion it probably don't know I'm here because it's mad about the motorcycle that's the other side of it. But I'm thinking, okay, if it steps out and it's done worked up in this frenzy, I'm going to be the first damn thing in these woods that ain't supposed to be here. I'm here and I'm out of place. And this thing's worked up and it's fixing to annihilate the first thing that sets it off. I'm going to be the match dropped in the keg of black powder.
And you'd already pulled your orange off too, hadn't you, Greg?
Dude, I had an orange toboggan on top of a cap. I done peeled it off. And just, I don't remember if it was bibs or if it was in, I know I had bibs, but I don't remember if I shoved it in the top or if I shoved it in the inner pocket in the jacket. But anyway,
the first thing it's going to see when it comes out is that damn orange hat.
Yep. But anyway, I took my orange off. So I'm standing there, camoed from head to toe, didn't have a face mask. And I'm hiding behind this tree and I'm peeking out, looking around the tree, and I got my rifle up. And I'm like, well, if it steps out, I'm fixing to try to put 5 rounds from about right here to right there. I mean, I'm going to be trying to go for the throat, the head, whatever. And I mean, I'm thinking, okay, well, I'm running through all these scenarios. It's like lightning. I mean, it's like I'm watching little short movies in my head of, okay, if it steps out, I'm propped. I've already got the safety off, fingers straight. I'm like, as soon as it steps up, if it acknowledges me, I'm fixing to be going boom, 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 as fast as I can put 5 rounds in it. And it depends on what it does to whether I'm going to be dropping this mag downward because it's on a hinged floor plate, and I'm going to be jerking rounds and snapping them back in and flipping it up and ready to go again. Or do I just dump 5 rounds, swing my rifle around with my forearm, and I'm going to reach and grab this 357 Magnum and pull it out, and I've got 7 more rounds with it. So, yeah, that was.
Greg, does that
look, if
does that
you
Brown
couldn't,
got a detachable mag, or is it a
Now that Browning, it's got a detachable mag, but it's on a swing down, hinged floor plate. It swings down, then you unsnap it and snap another one and fold it back. Which I don't never carry a whole nother mag. I just let it swing down.
Yeah, I forgot about that because I don't have any Brownings. Most of mine are just either detachable or they're internal.
Yeah. But yeah, DA on that. Oh, look, you couldn't have took a 16 penny nail gun and shot a nail up my butt. I mean, pucker factor 10,000. Oh,
and you carry at least what 2 to 3 extra mags with that .6 when you.
Well, what I carry in that .6 on the buttstock, I've got one of those elastic pieces. It's got the bandolero loops.
Yeah.
It's got 9 rounds in it. Well, then I take at least 3 or 4 more and shove them down inside behind those. Well, then I've got a backpack or like a field pack I carry. Jeff, I've got about 60 more rounds of 30-06. But like my holster that I wear, it's a shoulder holster that I carry for that 357 Magnum. Dude, that thing weighs probably 10 pounds with the pistol in it. But if I sling it and put it over my head and it swings down, it clips on my belt loops. Man, I've got pouches on the pistol's on my left side. This is on my right side, but I got like pouches, pouch. And then I got pouches over here. I can grab that pistol and it's not a 6-shot, but a 7-shot Smith & Wesson combat revolver. I've got like right here, I can flip this pouch open. I've got 3 speed loaders in it. There's 7 rounds apiece. I mean, I can dump the brass, stick 7 in it, snap it back. But I've got.
You never carried that much ammo until you started hunting.
No, I started dealing with these things. No, but like when I put that holster on, I've got 3 speed loaders here in a pouch, and under that there's 3 more. Yeah. And then there's a bandolero on this side that's got like 18 rounds. And then I've got pouches, just that holster. If I pick it up with a pistol in it, there's about 70 rounds of ammo for that 357 in it.
And so, you carry that even when you're bow hunting too.
Yes, sir. Yeah, I'm not going in the woods without at least that. And I feel unarmed or undergunned with that. And y'all, with that, the 357 Magnum pistol, I've killed 23 deer with a 357 Magnum pistol, a handgun hunting. And I have shot through full-grown deer. I'm talking 150-pound deer that may be on the ground, them on the ground, and then be facing me, be squared up, looking straight at me, and have their head raised. And I would shoot them like here's their head and here's their neck. Shoot them right here in their body. Shoot them in the chest, and that bullet go all the way down and come out at their tail. So you're talking an animal that's.
And you're using some pretty good loads in those.
Yes, sir. Now, I have the loads. I don't carry regular factory ammo. I've got a place here that I have them loaded, and they're loaded to maximum allowable tolerance for powder. And the daytime when I touch that pistol off, it looks like a flash about the size of a 5-gallon bucket out of the barrel. Now they're trucking on probably 400 feet faster than most factory loads. Now, I mean, they're hot,
isn't it?
But I know for a fact, because I've done shot at least probably 3 or 4 that I've shot completely through a deer long ways. So you're talking about it went through meat, blood, tissue, bone. It went through all of that over 30-something inches. So, yeah, I don't go anywhere armed lightly.
Well, and from you being at law enforcement, that's just.
Yeah, but I mean, like that's what I told people the other day. Look, if you're going to go out looking at these things, if you're not comfortable with a nice, large caliber firearm, go get you. If you don't do nothing but go get you, don't just get one, but get you several cans of like bear spray.
I carry several.
Get something.
Yep.
I carry at least 2. If I can't go somewhere where I can carry a pistol, I got that.
Yeah, I mean, it may not work. You may be like a spicy taco. I don't know. I mean, worst case scenario.
I keep thinking I'm going to start carrying a damn flare gun. So some of these things.
Yeah, that would work too. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell y'all. I mean, look, I've never experienced this, but a lot of my buddies, Coonbo, Troy, Cheryl, all them guys at some point in time, and actually all them together one time, they had all their batteries drained. I'm talking about like everybody in the group. All their batteries went dead within like 15 seconds. And I got thinking about that. Well, what if I'm out there and these things drain my batteries and I'm in the damn dark? That's a bad day. I damn sure don't want to be in the dark with them. So like my pack, this is just old redneck ingenuity or thinking here, but I went to like AutoZone and you get the magnesium road flares. You can buy them that burn 15 minutes. It's like this long, or get the ones that's twice as long, burn 30 minutes. Well, guys, them things burn like 3,000 degrees. And they throw a flame out about, what, that long? Probably 10 inches long. All right. Well, it's like having a handheld blowtorch with no tanks tied to it. Well, I went and got me a few of those. And I got to thinking, okay, if I put 2 of those, the 30-minute ones, in my pack, and put 2 of the 15-minute ones in there, man, that's an hour and a half that I could buy time to get somewhere. You know, if I had to get back to my truck and these things had depleted my batteries are dead, lost my light, whatever. Well, I mean, look, it's not like shining a big Q-beam spotlight, but it'll light up a pretty damn big area. And I'm gonna tell you,
something comes at you, you burn them with it.
Yes, sir. I don't think it's gonna handle that getting torched with 3,000 degree flame. And I'm just gonna be honest with you. I'm not gonna joke about it and whatever. Look, if I'm off in there hunting and somebody says, "Hey, damn, looks like the woods is on fire over there," y'all better come see why Greg done set the damn whole world on fire, because the booger man probably tried to get him. I'm gonna ride out with the damn forestry service. You know, somebody's going down, wonder, hey, I wonder why the woods is on fire. We better go check on that. Well, guess what? The cavalry's coming.
Exactly. Girl, why'd you light the woods on fire? There's a booger behind me.
Yeah. Well, that's what I'm wondering, DA, on that bear spray.
Yeah.
I mean, I've seen them do it too, but usually it was a meth-induced rage when they were eating it like damn Tic Tacs, but
Greg, I've encountered a few of those out, as DA likes to refer to them, the Greater American Meth Head.
Oh man! And
that was on a bear hunting trip up in Maine, and this woman was accosting us on the side of the road, saying we were on her property and we were on the right of way. And I had a security contractor from Maine that was riding in the truck with us, and well, not from Maine, he was from New Hampshire, but he had license to carry in a lot of different places because he was a security contractor. And she's over there trying to pull his door open. I've been sitting in the back of this extended cab pickup. He's got to open his door for me to get out. And she's yanking on this door, and she'd already brandished a little 25 pocket gun in the car before she got out.
Really?
And I'm thinking, is this woman lost her mind? And she was like, I heard Matt DeVito's slide rack, and I'm like, oh. And finally we were able to talk her down, and our guide was talking to her like she was a 2-year-old, but finally she came around, but she was picking her nose and staring at us like we were all crazy.
Yeah.
I tell you, you gotta. It ain't just the Bigfoot stuff that you got to worry about in the woods.
Oh no. That's what, and I tell people.
I ran into that over here too, with some people sneaking in, people thinking they're allowed to be in here, and then they're threatening us, and it's just. But the problem is, game wardens and the sheriff's office don't ever do nothing about it, because by the time you get them there.
Yeah. DA's right there, though. Pepper spray don't work on some folks. I mean, I've seen it.
Yeah.
I mean, I've seen them just shake their head, wipe their eyes like that, and they're ready to keep fighting.
Tasers don't either. I know some cops around here some that work over there near Edgewood. Edgewood's a rough area. That's like little Baltimore, isn't it, Jerry?
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. And a couple of my buddies said that they hit this one guy. I mean, they used all their barbs up. They had and they were just hitting him up with the arc left from the damn thing, and it took him forever to get him in cuffs because he was just. They were fist fighting him at one point because he wouldn't go down. And
Yeah.
they had already expended all their taser barbs and everything else.
Well, see, like where y'all are at up there too. I mean, y'all got a lot of cold weather. Shit, you get on a big old jacket or a coat and layers clothes. You're probably not going to get very good penetration with those barbs coming out. But DA was talking about right there, you know, if it don't work on some people, why would it be different on Bigfoot? And the only thing maybe with me with Bigfoot, if it was maybe its senses is more sensitive, like kind of like a bear or a dog, maybe. But still, I'm not going to bet my life on pepper spray. Let's put it that way.
Yeah. You bet your life on a nightstick, though.
I don't want to have to try to whoop no booger with no stick.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, that's crazy.
I'd rather go with a blade at that point.
Yeah.
Big arteries.
I still wish you luck.
Yeah. Look, I want something I can be over here and it'll bite over yonder.
Right.
Well, you know, Greg
right.
and I were talking
A little
about
bit of
that
distance.
that cold steel spear I got in the other room, and you got one of them too, don't you,
I
Greg?
do. It's in that safe right there.
And I feel like if you ended up in a situation up close and personal, that thing right there is probably going to be your saving grace if something happens, because at least you've got a extension between you and it.
Yeah.
And a big sharp blade.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, having a weapon in your hand, to me, think about, I know y'all been around dogs that get goofy, and you go to somebody's house, they got a dog act wild, act like it's going to eat you. You ever notice you can reach down and pick up a stick, a small stick. Ain't got to be big, just something small. If you've got something in your hand, that dog will treat you different a lot of the times. So I don't know if Booger's is going to be the same way, but I like that dog. That dog realizes that you've got something that's a weapon.
Phyllis said big cattle prod.
Yeah.
Phyllis, I got a cattle prod, and I don't think I'd be trying it on
Yeah.
one of those, especially after that rodeo I heard about Coonbo talking about the guy down there in, I guess, New Mexico that shocked one in the hand with it. Because he thought it was somebody else at the ranch messing with him.
Man. But yeah, I mean, and here's the other thing too. I mean, DA, they touched on this the other day. A lot of these folks like, yeah, let's go hunt one, blah, blah, blah. And then you see these down the mall ninja weekend warriors. We're going to go hunt one. Well, what are you going to carry with you, man? I'm going to take my AR.
Well, that was what a certain old associate was saying, and I'm like, man, you got a 223, unless you're punching something at least a 30 caliber, it ain't even worth taking.
You better have something that's gonna have some oomph to it. It's like Deanna was talking about. It'd be like going elk hunting or moose hunting with a 223. That ain't the caliber you use on large animals. And people that's never seen a booger, look, it ain't like Shaquille O'Neal or Magic Johnson stretched out just tall. No. We're talking about not just height, but we're talking about girth, width, thickness, whatever you want to label it. It's massive. It's like having a Brahma bull standing up. As far as the chest and the body, it's like, my God, once you see one in person and see the ones like we've got here. Now, I know people seen them that they say, well, they weren't that bulky and it looked like a basketball player. No, that's not what I've seen here. No, these have been massive. But yeah, I was something.
Look like Patty, don't they?
The ones I've seen look a lot like Patty. Yeah, that's what me and Coonbo talked about. Basically, it's the top ones that I've been dealing with here. And what he deals with is foreign. which is
Now, has he ever seen type 2s over at his farm, or is that just where he was?
he's seen a couple of times what he labeled a type 2, but he said he thought they were passing through.
Yeah.
He didn't think that was because basically everything he's pretty much ever seen up there, except for a couple of times, was, you know, the type 1s. He just a couple that he saw he thought was a type 2, but that's kind of rare.
I tell anybody that's, you know, lacking in the gun department, if you need at least a 12 gauge, something you can put some 3-inch slugs in and some real heavy buckshot.
Well, even a 2 3/4
Not normal. Not normal load.
Even a 2 3/4 slug. I mean, most of them's gonna be a 1 ounce slug.
Yeah.
That's a lot. That's a lot of power. A slug, a 12 gauge, even a 20 gauge slug.
Yes.
You're gonna have a lot of knockdown, a lot of penetration. Yeah, that's one heck of a round.
Yeah.
River said he got a 50 cal spare.
Yeah. That's all.
River and his Australian regulations over there.
Man, I hate so bad the way they got.
If you're on a farm or something where you've got to deal with hogs or whatever, it's easier to get guns, but like certain places, they're real.
Pretty much.
You got to be a rancher or a cop or something.
Yeah, and then that's still really super limited. Very, very limited. And that's not been the.
And their capacity on their tubes and stuff are cut down too.
Well, you know, like River talking about the guy that he knew that was the guy was a paramedic, had got home, been on duty, been on calls on the ambulance, got home and some dude broke in his house while he was in there. The guy had to go hands-on with the dude. He beat the guy to a pulp and then called the 911 or whatever. I guess there's the 911 too. But anyway, called the police. They come out and got the guy. The guy's laying there bleeding in the dude's floor. They got that guy, carried him to the hospital or jail or whatever, turned around and arrested the homeowner for assaulting the guy. I mean, it's like, wait a minute. Well, hold on. Yeah, I don't think so.
Yeah.
So
now in Africa, if you got caught messing around out there and you shot somebody, they go out there, because I've talked to people this happened to. If you did that and it was justified, they'd bring the body back and you had to bury them.
wow. Mm.
I knew guys that worked for some of the feed companies around here that lived out in Africa, and they said it was so bad that they would have to like go out to some of the farms and like post up guards with rifles because people would try to come in and slaughter the livestock and that kind of stuff. I mean, it's bad.
Well, now up there where y'all are at, do y'all have a castle doctrine law?
How does that work, Jerry?
I'm sorry. I got sidetracked.
I think they have to be in the house.
Really?
If I remember correctly.
Yeah. They got to be in the house.
Well,
or
see,
you have to be fearing for your life and
In theory.
Yeah.
well, I know some states it used to be that even if you were in the house and they came in on you, that if you had a back door, that you were obligated to try to escape, that you couldn't harm them because you could still be charged if you didn't try to flee. The only way that you could absolutely take up for yourself was if they had you trapped in a room where there was no way for you to get away.
Yeah, I think here, I'm pretty sure if you're in your house, then you have the right,
Now,
supposedly have the right to defend yourself.
Maryland has been working on making it easier to get carry permits, but our new governor decided that he was going to write all sorts of new regulations to make it so you pretty much can't carry anywhere. And
Had to go there, didn't you, Joe?
Hey,
I can't stand this governor. Can't stand it.
see, look, our governor here, like what DA and them's got there, I didn't know they had it till he just posted it. But see, like here in Alabama, our governor passed it to where you don't have to have a permit to carry. You can carry concealed, carry open. It's constitutional carry. And look, federal law states that you have to be 21 years of age to purchase a handgun. Okay. State of Alabama law, they dropped it back to when you hit 18 years old, you can carry a pistol or a revolver. You can carry open or concealed at 18 years old. You just can't purchase one. You have to have like
That was
one in a
like
store.
when you gifted that one to Colt.
To my son, yeah, because he turned 18. Yep. Yeah, it's legal.
Wow.
Yeah. And Maryland, so back when what was that, 2010 when O'Malley left office, Jerry?
Somewhere around that time frame, yeah. I wasn't a fan of him either.
He instituted so much anti-gun stuff.
Yeah. Oh,
Beretta was the manufacturer here in Maryland, in Assakeek, and he made the taxes and everything so high on them, ran them out of state.
Yeah. Well, I'm gonna tell you,
got one of
all
their
these
shotguns that still had leftover parts from when they were building them there. And I bought one of the ones that had a receiver that was stamped from Maryland. So I got one of the last few ones that they made here.
Well,
And,
here's my deal. Here's my deal with me being law enforcement. We see all this stuff when people talking about we need to ban this, we need to ban that, we need laws, we need common sense gun laws. Well, look, we done got common sense gun laws. We done got all the laws we ever need and then some. Going out and assaulting somebody's already illegal. Going out harming somebody's already illegal. And murder is damn sure as illegal as it gets. If you attempted murder one, capital murder, whatever, any degree of murder is already illegal.
Right.
If you're willing to go murder somebody, why are you going to care that there's another law says that you can't have that gun? That law is null and void. That you can stack those laws high as you want to stack them, and that law is not going to stop a deranged killer or somebody that's intent on harming somebody. All that law does is affects the law-abiding people that are trying to defend themselves. That's the only people that law is affecting.
Yeah.
And here's the other thing: if you disarm law-abiding people, that does not make criminals less violent. It don't make criminals less dangerous. All you have done is you have took innocent people and fixed it where they can't defend themselves. So I mean,
our county sheriff is big on gun rights.
Yes, they need to be.
And a lot of the Jerry will tell you, a lot of the county sheriffs are like that around here.
yeah. We got a real good
These
sheriff.
guys in the cities that are governed by the state. They're like, oh well, it don't really make a difference, but our governors and stuff that come from these areas, they're the same ones that make it harder for us to even purchase handguns without going through a bunch of hoops now.
Yeah.
And they want to charge you extra money and all this stuff they don't care if you got a shotgun or a rifle, but they are so obsessed about pistols.
Well, it's all about money, Jeff.
Yeah.
It's amazing how if you pay a fee, it makes it okay.
Yeah.
If you'll pay the piper his due, we're gonna overlook that. It ain't harmful no more.
And Jared and I both know that the crime in this county is moving up.
Tell you what, here's the thing for anybody that's for gun control being the key word. They're wanting to control people, so if you're armed, you can't be controlled. The thing about gun control is look at the major cities that's run by a certain political party, and I'm not going to name them. We know who they are. Look where your highest crime rates are. That's those cities. And what do they have? They have the strictest, most stringent gun laws. Well, all they've done is they've disarmed people and fixed it so they can't defend themselves.
Yeah.
Well, if you want to embolden evil people, if you want to make those people emboldened to where they're more willing to hurt somebody or attack somebody, and they're not worried about people being able to take care of themselves, what are you going to do? You're going to take a weapon away from the good people, and you've made them defenseless. And as law enforcement, y'all, look, I'm not going to be there when that happens unless it's just sheer accident. The best thing I can do is get there after the fact, hope you're still alive, and you can tell me what happened. Or I've got to try to put it together and figure out and guess at what happened. People say, well, you're a first responder. You're a first responder. You're law enforcement. You're first. Hell no, I'm a second responder at best. When you're there in your home and somebody's kicking that door in, you're the first responder. You're your own first responder. You're your first line of defense. I'm the guy you call to help you. You're the one that's there trying to protect yourself.
Yeah.
I mean,
And I'm not waiting for somebody to roll in either.
no.
No.
Yeah, it's, but people have got it. They've been brainwashed that every aspect of life that they're kind of counting on the government to take care of them, to house them, to clothe them, to defend them, protect them, whatever, name it. But what does it do? It makes people emboldened to the government, and the government's got you at their whim. I mean, because if you're dependent on them, they can do what they want to you. I mean, they can tell you, hey, go get in that train car. We're going to carry you over here to this resort for a few weeks. Yeah, I mean, and here's the other deal. I'll challenge anybody. You want to see what a playbook looks like? Go back and read some on Adolf Hitler's stuff from about 1935. The way he talked. Hitler didn't go in and take the guns away. He talked them into giving them up freely because it was gun control, public safety. We're going to make you safe. We take guns away. If y'all give your guns up, y'all will all be safe. We don't have to be worried anymore.
Jews don't give up anything anymore.
Nope. But that's the thing about it. Hitler didn't take over. Hitler was voted in. He was voted in by a landslide. But if you look who's, just go back and look. I challenge anybody. I don't care which side you vote for. Just do what I'm saying. Just go research Adolf Hitler and look and see what his laws that he got pushed through, all of his ordinances, laws, whatever you want to call it. Look at the playbook he went by and see which side that lines up with. Don't just go around calling people Nazis. Actually look at it and see how the stuff that he pushed through and he got voted in, and see which side's trying to push the exact same thing. Don't listen to who's calling somebody a Nazi. Look and see how that lines up. And a lot of these people are going to be surprised.
Definitely.
Man, Roger's starting to sweat bullets. We're 3.5 hours. Roger's starting to sweat.
Hey, let me tell you something. Greg and I have done nights that would have rivaled Roger's 6-hour marathon.
Yeah.
Man, look, I stayed on the phone last night with Coonbo. He called me. He
Yeah,
called me last night.
And you were texting us.
Yeah, I was on the phone with him for like 3.5 hours last night.
Yeah. I'll tell you, one night, Greg, it ain't gonna be tonight, but one night we'll have to get him on here and do a deep dive into.
Oh yeah,
absolutely.
I just hope he gets some. Which I mean, don't get me wrong. I love he's coming down here to hang out with me tomorrow evening. He called me. I set it up for him and DA because I felt bad because his internet was messing up Sunday. So I sent DA a message yesterday and asked him, if you got Coonbo to come on there if he wanted to do it Wednesday night. And I lined it up with Coonbo, and then he called me today. He's like, again, he told me, he said, yeah, I'll go on there. So that sounds good. I'll just come down to your man cave. Well, then he called me today and he said, hey, look, said, what time's that show? I said, well, it's 8:00 Central, 8:00 our time. He said, well, I got thinking about it. I thought that's what you said. He said, I think me and Sandy going to try to get down there about 6. So we'll go down there, Chef Troy's, that restaurant. Said, we'll go eat some seafood. I said,
you got to stop telling me about all this Alabama food because I'm gonna have to like hire somebody for me to go down there and stay for a week. 'Cause
No doubt. Yeah, you're gonna have to get yourself down here one of these days too.
I'm going to, and you guys are still talking about doing something this fall, aren't you?
Yeah, I talked to Mark Green yesterday, and that's what we were talking about. Trying to get something going. Hopefully, I mean, we got to get Spencer on the ball, and that's
Yeah.
he's been busy working and all that. But me and Mark Green had talked about maybe, hopefully, like first week of October, maybe. So,
Well, I'm going to be in Maine hunting black bears, so I'm going to be out on that one.
wow, when are you doing that? First week of October?
First week of October. Just like when you guys planned the LBL outing, I was away up until like right before you guys left. I was up in Western Maryland, but I'm gonna get down there.
You're gonna have to, man. I'm telling you, I feel bad for anybody in this community that didn't get to come to the LBL.
I wanted to go bad.
If I had gotten into this bunch earlier on, I would have definitely been more prepared. But
y'all, wait, look, the only thing bad to me about that is it wasn't for like 10 days.
Now David's trying to get me to come hunt bears in Oregon.
I know, that's what he's been telling me. Look, I've never got myself on a airplane, but that's about the only way I can figure out how to get out there to see David and Dee Dee. But if I can swing it, I'm damn sure going to try to go see Brother David. I mean, I really am. I've never been any further west than Arkansas. Now, I've been all the way to Canada going north.
I've been to Texas.
Yeah, I mean, Little Rock, Arkansas is as far west as this old boy's ever been.
Yeah.
But now, I'd like to go out there. But god dang, man, it from right here where I'm sitting, according to my Google Maps, it's like 2,565 miles to David's house.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yeah. I mean, that ain't a trip. That's a journey.
Yeah.
That's got to be over 3,000 for us, I would think, or close to it.
Oh, it probably would be.
Yeah.
It's a long ways. A long ways. But I mean, I looked online and I could fly out of either Atlanta, Georgia, which is about a 3-hour drive from here to Atlanta. And it's about a 2.5-hour drive from here to Nashville, Tennessee.
Oh, look, there's Billy Schilling just
Billy's
appeared.
in, yeah.
Look at there.
Yeah.
That's what I'm knowing about. Billy's got to get down here too. Man, but I think I can fly, not one person, I can fly a round trip from here to Oregon up there by David's and back. It's around like $700 something bucks. So that ain't horrible.
No.
But I've been told, Wanda done told me that I was crazy as hell if I thought I was going and she wasn't going with me. So it cost me double.
As it is from here to Alabama, I'm half tempted just to catch a flight and have you guys pick me up at the.
Dude,
God.
Look, if we do if we do something down there at Hollins, you could fly into Birmingham, and from Birmingham to Hollins is only an hour drive.
Yeah.
And like from Nashville, Tennessee to the LBL is just right at an hour. So I mean, it's not
It'd probably be faster and cheaper just to fly.
Probably what, and like
definitely
David, they flew into Nashville and then rented a car.
Yeah.
I've been to Murfreesboro several times, Tennessee.
Really?
Yeah.
What was you doing in Murfreesboro?
Pulling. Miller Coliseum. Pulling inside the Miller Coliseum.
Okay.
Yeah, he's been down that way.
Yeah, well, if you get back down this way, you need to call me. Buddy of mine, Murfreesboro, which is MTSU, Middle Tennessee State University.
Yep.
Buddy of mine, me and him, we're both 50-year-old, and we've been buddies since we was starting in kindergarten. One of my best friends on the planet. When we graduated high school in 92, the fall of 92, he went to Murfreesboro and he played football at Middle Tennessee. He played up there. So, but they won national championships in their division of football that year. And then the next year, he didn't get to play much up there. So he transferred to the University of North Alabama, UNA, which was the same division ball that they were. That next year, they won national championships. So he wound up with 2 national championship collegiate ball rings from 2 different universities.
Awesome. That's awesome.
Well, hell, we're at midnight.
Yeah.
At 11 o'clock, 5 till here.
I gotta get out of bed in 4 hours.
We'll shut it down. But Greg, stay back in the backstage once we
Okie doke.
shut her down, and we'll talk for a minute. And
I'm just glad to see we've had a few folks in here.
you're lined up for some other stuff.
Misty's hanging in there like a rusty fish hook.
Yeah, but she don't go to sleep. We all know that.
No, I'll be messaging her here in a little bit.
There's a day I could do that. I can't.
And like I said, anybody that's watching this, y'all get in there and watch DA tomorrow night. Y'all see Coonbo.
I'll be in there.
Yeah, 9 o'clock Central. I'll definitely. My show will be.
Yeah,
You'll be done. You'll be done with your show, right, Jerry?
Well, hopefully.
It'll be well.
Sometimes
Like
it
I
runs
said,
late.
DA will start at 8 Central and be 9 y'all's time. Eastern.
Yeah. Mine's 8 to
That's
9.
why I
Eastern,
like
so.
DA shows, because they come on later, and I'm not trying to rush to get done.
Oh God, Misty, about time to transform into Gollum. I swear, y'all, she's the only woman I know that has to use filters to look bad. Everybody else, I'm gonna do this filter so I look good. Misty's like, well, damn it, I'm just too pretty today. I'm gonna see if I can ugly myself up.
Damn.
Oh.
All right. I
Enjoy
guess that's
it,
the
guys.
rest then.
Big love, everybody.
Absolutely. Greg, appreciate you coming on. Poor David. We're gonna get David. We're gonna try again. We'll keep trying till we get him straightened out here somehow or another or whatever. So
Malfunction, we end up with a good guest, though. I don't know.
well, here's the deal. The last 2 times we tried to work with him, we've had thunderstorms. So
No doubt.
maybe that's what's going on. I don't know. But either that or he's being governed or we're being governed or something. Anyway, appreciate everybody coming in. Chat was awesome tonight. And I guess we'll be back next Tuesday, Jeffrey?
Yeah, we got to figure out what we're doing.
It's always the we.
It's been such damn bad weather. I haven't really had time to research on much. I've been sweating.
Nah, same here. It's just thinking busy.
Before we go, Phyllis is still in there. Phyllis, good luck tomorrow. We'll be praying for you.
Good luck. Absolutely.
Make sure John keeps us posted.
Yep. Absolutely. Good luck.
Billy Shelley won't say my tattoo. I don't know if I get. Look, Billy, I ain't that.
I'm gonna have to get a tattoo now. You guys are a bad influence.
I don't know if he can see it.
Yeah, you can see it. Yep.
All right. Well, we'll see you backstage.
You know, there's going to be retribution to that coming now. So
no doubt. Now, look, I'm putting the pressure on.
Now Tipton's going to be trolling our page, trying to.
No doubt. Hey, look, I'm waiting. I told Misty if she'd get down here, I'd pay to get her a Woodwalker tattoo. But Spencer, he acts like he's a little peeking getting a tattoo.
You guys about got me getting one now. This is bad.
Oh man. Look here, dude. 3 years ago, I didn't even have any ink. Now I'm all the way around both arms. Chest, legs.
all right. Okay, next Tuesday, y'all. Thanks for joining us, and like, subscribe, share, and get over to that Facebook page, man. We got to get that Facebook page going. So
yeah, we got to get that going.
Yep,
absolutely. All right. Till next week. Appreciate it, Greg. Thank you.
Enjoy.
Talk to you soon, Jeffrey. You guys hang on. We'll be right back.